Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning, and welcome to The World's Gone Insane, episode 71. And this week, we are mainly focusing on we're beyond the aftermath of the US elections 2024, and now we are into the fun times, the good times, the happy times, the gay old times, because we have been seeing slowly Trump putting together his cabinets, and oh, it's a doozy. And if you're MAGA, a lot of you are not very happy. But I personally found it hilarious. Can't wait to get into it. Now, we are going to go straight into like TikTok videos as well. So, and then we could just intertwine what the content of those videos with whatever Trump's insanity is. I want to welcome my wonderful co hosts, Zam and CC22. And with that being said, we aren't going to mess about, keep you waiting. We're just going to go straight into it.
Sam's TikTok treasures.
I'm going to have to update that.
Yeah, for sure. So there's these things to talk about, but let's just start off with a bit of sport. And I do want to talk about the boxing a bit later, but let's start off with, before we get into Trump and all of that, let's go into what happened between France and Israel when they played a football match at the Stade de France. And this is what the turnout looked like. Well, I
don't know if that music's copywritten.
Now that's all
empty.
Yeah, now don't get me wrong. More people did come after this, but it ended up being and look, football stadiums can hold up to, like, a stadium like this can hold up to 80,000. The maximum amount of people that did end up turning up for this game was 16,000 people, which is not even 50%. You know, and I'm very happy with the boycott because right now
it was the lowest turnout for France international game.
Yeah, because Russia could obviously get banned, but Israel hasn't. Israel seems to be getting away with all types of shit because just the other week, Maccabi Haifa, which is a club team, they played against Ajax, or no, was it PSV or some Dutch team in Holland, and they were causing all manners of shit. Yeah, and even though they were the people coming into Holland, and stirring up a hornet's nest, and some of these guys are ex-IDF as well, but a lot of people from Israel are. The media and the police were blaming the Dutch fans. Even though these guys were coming into their territory, stirring up a fuss, causing issues, starting fights, bragging. Because right now, unfortunately, Israelis and football fans from that part of the world, they feel they feel invincible. And when countries like Holland are defending them and not their own citizens, and I'm sure something similar happened in France as well, when there was some protests going outside the stadium regarding this football match. No wonder they feel invincible. They've been backed by the most powerful country on earth. So much money is coming their way. Other countries are fucking towing the line. It's fucking crazy. But I'm really happy that the general public are still saying to the Israelis, "Go fuck yourselves." So nice one there. And when I say Israeli, I mean the Zionists. Just to narrow it down, just in case people think I'm being anti-Semitic. The Zionists, and fuck the Zionists.
I think anyone that equates Zionists with Jews is anti-Semitic, and that's mainly Zionists that are doing that, because they're not Jews. It's like taking Christians and Nazis and expecting them to be the same thing. It's just like no. Zionists are just far right, racist pieces of shit. It's as simple as that. And just a few things on the so with the Maccabi. Firstly, Zam's got a great point there. The Israeli football fans feel absolutely invincible, that they can go anywhere and cause as much trouble as they want because the media is going to back them. The police in other countries are going to back them. And what we've seen after, as a result of what happened in Amsterdam, was they clamped down on anti-genocide protests. That's what I call them, to make it very clear, that anti-genocide protests. They clamped down. They've been grabbing people, shoving them in vans, and dumping them in the middle of nowhere, and beating them as well. I never want to hear a far-right person ever talk about sovereignty, our land, freedom us, freedom this, freedom that, when our own authorities are defending and acting at the behest of a foreign government. It's unacceptable, and all these people are right-wingers. They're on the far right, and what's worse is Sky News over here. They published video showing, a whole video segment showing how the Israeli fans started all the trouble. Then word came from above. They took the video down, re-edited to make it look like the Zionists were the victims. So in real time, we saw how the system works. Now, I saw everything unfold in real time when you're on Twitter, when you're on Reddit. So I can give you a personal account of how the system works. I'm not saying I'm just saying what I saw. It started off with the arrival of the Tel Aviv fans at the airport, chanting the racist stuff and, killing babies and death to Arabs and all this kind of stuff. It then showed them in the streets doing the same, at the stadium jeering during a minute silent, then out in the streets again, ripping down Palestinian flags, flagging down cabs to see, just like we saw over here, to see if there were Arabs, beating up, chasing Arabs. And then we saw the retaliation. Now, I saw this all play out in a span of 3-4 hours. And the media has the fucking audacity to twist this, and the Guardian as well. I even saw the Guardian do this in real time, to twist this, where the Zionists were the ones that were attacked. The Tel Aviv fans were the ones that were victims. And I think it's dawned on everyone now that the pushback because of this is just been so severe that the media have now just they shit themselves, because they've just been caught in a massive lie and nobody's buying it. But they went to France, and again they had a contingent of the fans attacking French supporters, and they know they can get away with it. Hey, Rusty.
Hello, Rusty. Now, I was going to show you some more on this, but let's just move on from that. We've pretty much spoken about it, because what you've ended up doing is leading into a great little segue regarding the media. This is a fantastic clip, by the way.
I think you've got the wrong mic on you, Zam.
What? No? You sure?
Oh, tap it. Oh, no, that's the right one.
I was just sitting away from it. It's my bad.
I can hear you fine. It's perfectly loud. It's perfectly fine. Just sound a bit tinted, that's all. Anyway, sorry. Go on.
So this is a really good clip, right? And it infuriates me. And by the way, just what you said earlier about maybe people picking up on things, never understand how stupid people are, Ginger, because even when it's right in front of your face, they still are able to ignore what's in front of them, where they're not able to pick up on it, or they don't want to notice it, or whatever. So this is something that's kind of obvious, and it's insulting, it's infuriating. And check this out.
Because it was bad enough when the mainstream news outlets like Sky News were simply refusing to do their jobs in terms of holding politicians to account to prevent economy-crippling racists getting into government. But now they've graduated to explicitly saying we should put racists in government. This was Sky News host Trevor Phillips with Labour's Treasury Secretary Darren Jones this morning.
You need some help here, possibly. Given that all the things that Labour people have said about Mr. Trump, would it be wise to take advantage of Nigel Farage's offer to be an intermediary for our government with the Trump White House?
Now, so far in the discussion, we just have a major figure within Sky News simply asking the question about whether we should give Nigel Farage, the former leader of the racist party UKIP, an official position within the UK administration. And Darren Jones responds to that quite well.
My advice to Mr. Farage would be he might want to concentrate his efforts on the constituents in Clacton that elected him into office, as opposed to spending his time in the United States of America.
And so Trevor Phillips goes from asking questions to stating that it would be objectively good to give Nigel Farage a position within the UK administration.
Man comes along, might be a different party, and he says, I can help you. And it's manifest he can help you. He is close to Trump. Trump listens to him because Trump tells the world that he listens to Nigel Farage.
Okay, let's break this down. Trevor Phillips is arguing that because the Labour Party used to call Trump the dangerous bigot that he is, they're going to need somebody who shares Trump's values if they're going to get nice things from Trump. And Donald Trump listens to Nigel Farage, so why not have Nigel Farage in your government as somebody that can influence Trump? But even if we accept the principle that Nigel Farage can influence Donald Trump, why isn't he doing that already in our interests? If Nigel Farage is truly the person in the country with the best chance of convincing Donald Trump to not put tariffs on all UK exports, why isn't he doing that already? Donald Trump isn't going to trust Nigel Farage more if he gets closer to Keir Starmer. So any benefit Nigel Farage could possibly theoretically...
I'm gonna leave that there. Yeah, but it goes on for quite a long time. But the point is, watching this particular clip, the way Sky News and Trevor Phillips, who you just want to slap him in the fucking face and say, shut the fuck up. Yeah, stop encouraging the Labour Party, who are bad enough as it is, to have somebody like Nigel Farage, as one of their MPs. It's just absolutely ridiculous. Well, because he kisses Trump's ass. And he made a good point, that particular Labour MP, that Farage himself is never supporting the people in Clacton, the people who voted him in. He's always in America sucking Donald Trump's dick. So maybe he should fucking go back and do what he's been paid for. But he's part of this contingent of politicians who are only in there to be on TV and to be exhibitionists. When it comes to actually doing the work of a politician, they don't want to do shit. And that's Nigel Farage in a nutshell. He knows he can appeal to people in Clacton because in that part of England, they're full of fucking dickheads who all look like fucking Grant Mitchell from EastEnders. You know what I mean? But yeah, he doesn't want to fucking do anything to help them. He wants to keep them angry. Helping them is actually the worst thing he can do. Keeping them angry is the best thing he can do. But they will always come up with the rhetoric. But yeah, fucking hell, the way Sky TV are constantly going on. Trevor Phillips as well, who I used to like, and now I see him for the fraud that he is. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. Go on.
So what you need to understand here, not you, I'm just saying to the audience that saw this clip. Now, this is a Sky News journalist who is basically propping up a member of a far-right party who has been given endless coverage throughout the run-up to the general election. And as the Greens said, he's been given 1,200 minutes of airtime compared to everyone else who's barely had 20 minutes of airtime. But this is also the propaganda machine at work to keep saying you, Farage, look how Farage, he could do this with America. He could do that with America. So why not vote reform? As in, they're gearing this country up. They're propping up the Reform Party to be the next big party because it is Reform LLC, funded by billionaires, our media run by billionaires. And so expect this to get worse, Sam, as it goes along. Watch the run up to the by-elections, how much attention and how much free airtime they give to Reform Party. Because their plan is, by the next general election or the next couple of general elections, to put Reform in a prime position to become like the next, not the next government, but eventually the next government. This is how the machine works. You don't see them sitting there going, well, you know what? Jeremy Corbyn will be a fantastic idea because he takes no bullshit from anyone and he could sort out a good deal for us. Oh, and his independent alliance have, just as many members as a Reform. But no, it's Farage this, it's Reform that, and expect that to be the norm until they get into power. They're going to make sure you don't know shit about the Independent Alliance and the Greens.
Okay, now I'm pivoting quite nicely as we were speaking about Labour, but I don't want obviously people to think that Labour are totally I can't think of the word right now, but the good guys. Just to remind you, check out this lady.
No solution to the crisis students are facing. In fact, they are the cause of this crisis. At first in the budget, they ignored the problems, and then a few days later tried to quietly mention that they would be raising tuition fees. An extra £250 a year from students will not save universities, who, in the organisation Universities UK this September, called for the government to raise tuition fees to up to £13,000 a year. This crisis requires bold action and huge amounts of money to solve it, and Labour knows that. But they will take the action that benefits themselves and their capitalist friends, not the students and education. But we're not going to put up with this cuts and crisis anymore, and we certainly aren't going to put up with Labour's inaction and flip-flopping. That's why Socialist Students has launched the Funding Not Fees campaign, and it's why we've seen such a good response to it. Over the past few weeks, as mentioned, we've had protests across England and Wales, here in London, in Liverpool, York, Southampton, and of course, most importantly, at my university in Aberystwyth.
That's how you say it. Okay.
Good university. Oh, you didn't know how to say Aberystwyth?
Mate, it looks Welsh as fuck. I had no idea. But regardless, what is the point of bringing in a party like the Labour Party if they're going to do exactly what we expect the Conservatives to fucking do? You know, like, you have a chance to really be different, and no, you want to be the fucking same as the fucking opposition, and that's what pisses people off. I'm more shocked than anything that third parties don't get more of a look in nowadays, you know, and don't get the opportunity they should be given to them. You know, this constant swap over between one party over the other. I do know sometimes the leadership does make a difference, because regardless of the party name, the leadership matters, because Corbyn and Starmer are fucking worlds apart regarding policies and direction. But my God, you know, like, if the Tories are going to come back into power, it's shit like this, you know, and you're gonna make the future voters disillusioned and not want to vote for you because you're doing nothing for them, you know, nothing for them at all. And then you're gonna give alt-right party opportunists a chance to fucking take over, blame fucking people like me or Chris or you, Ginger, or whoever, you know, will be, you know, as long as we're not fucking Aryan fucking males or whatever, they're gonna fucking assume that everyone else is to fucking blame for their problems. All of this shit's gonna just reoccur again. Like, for fuck's sake, Labour, be different, be an alternative, help fucking students. Your predecessors in the Labour Party brought in student loans. That was the most stupidest thing you could have done for the Labour Party, for fuck's sake. Oh God, I can go on, but go on. What have you got to say, Ginger?
Yeah, Christine.
I just want to come out right here now and say it. It has been me the whole time. You copy.
You bitch. I knew it. Oh, bloody Canada. All over again. Just because the Queen was never Canadian, you petty. No, but look, there's a report that's come out. Basically, universities are literally begging the government to stop the student loans, because even the ones that are saying you need to raise tuition fees to 13,000 a year, it's just going to make people not go to university, and it will just make things even worse, because 2/3 of our universities now are in the red, or 1/3 of our universities now are in the red. They are struggling, and I get angry because I don't know if you know Richard Godby here. I think you both should know him. He was.
I know Richard Godby.
Right. Okay. I had a massive argument with him about this very thing, because he'll say, no, this way universities will get more money. I'm like, but the burden of the cost should be on the government, not the individual. That's just going to make people not go to university, and then it's going to mean universities don't get money. I said this to him years ago when they talked about, and here we are now in this very situation. The universities are getting broke because people can't afford to go to university, and they're not getting the money. The universities aren't getting the money, and so when the government passes the burden of costs onto other people, normally the working class who can't afford it, it affects them in every single way. And you know what? I hope those universities go to shit, shut down, and die, because they should have done more to stop the government from introducing student loans as well. A lot of them thought this was a great idea because it meant more money. Well, you reap what you sow. Now you're getting way less money. You're in the red. Some of these universities are going to have to shut down or get bailed out. And it just, look, when you don't invest in your own people, it doesn't pay off. When you invest in education, it pays for itself tenfold because those people go off, get the best jobs, become the best scientists, help society get better. But the bourgeoisie just want you thick and stupid. That's why America has 56% can't read at an adult level in America.
Crazy.
Including
It's
the
scary.
president, third
Yeah.
grade level.
Yeah, including the president. And it's scary. But that's what they want. They want you dumb and thick and falling for people like Joe Rogan's and your Jordan Petersons so that they could just get away with crushing you relentlessly because you're too stupid to realize the people that you fucking champion are the worst.
Okay,
So who's...
this is a mate of mine actually. I believe it's the
hey,
same mate
Daniel.
of mine,
Welcome.
Daniel Mullen, who I used to play FIFA with. 2024 has been the year of elections: the US presidential election, the French snap election, the UK general election, and now us, the Republic of Ireland, having a general election soon. Yeah, I guess so, mate. Yeah, everyone's
Who's looking to
changing
come in
brand.
the Republic of Ireland, Daniel? And Rusty, everything the government touches turns to shit because they do it deliberately, so then they can sell it off for cheap to the private sector and ruin it even further. Nothing under the private sector ever improves, ever. It's all,
I want.
yeah. Go
So I want to get to this response because when I hear people say that, I go, yeah, you're right. But it's the government you choose sometimes. You've got to know who you're putting in power because you've got to sometimes get the right people in power. And especially if you see media saying to you, don't fucking vote for this person, they're probably the right person to fucking vote for.
Yeah.
You know, and so you have to vote for somebody, you know, and then when people say they don't want government doing their healthcare and stuff, then who do you want to do your healthcare? Corporations who only give a shit about making profit, who might not just want to make turnovers all the fucking time and won't necessarily invest. There are so many things are privatized now, and they're falling apart. As long as they can barely run, that's all that fucking matters. Because investing in repairing it is just too much money away from the profits for fucking shareholders. So at least with things that are which are more nationalized and run by governments, it's not about making profits. I'll personally go down that route as long as you got the right government to do it. Hello, my darling. As long as you've got the right government to do it, then fucking corporate any day of the fucking week when it comes to running any services for anybody. I'll never want corporate services ever. And unless there's an alternative to government and corporations, you let me know, but I have no fucking idea.
Yeah, especially if it's a social service, because like you said, in a hospital setting, do you want someone concerned about your health or the bottom line?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Anything to add, James?
Another one, Sam?
Well, let's just go across the pond now and start making fun of our American friends as we've been dying to do, you know. So some Trump stuff. Also, Daniel Mullen's got something to say here. It's been between the two parties, mainly
the usual.
God, how the fuck do you say that? I'm looking at Fanny Fell.
Fanny Fail.
and Fanny Fell and Fine Girl. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dan.
Fine gal, man. You got a Caribbean style party there. Hey, a fine gal. Become here, vote for me.
Sinn Féin think they have a chance, but Sinn Féin, yeah, the whole RRE stuff, it is a massive cloud over their head. Daniel Vance says, if you want to fail upwards, come to US. Mate, anywhere. Look, as long as you're fucking a white Caucasian male with money in your pocket, you can fail upwards any part of the fucking world. Let's check out what this guy has to say. I think this is more like a skit than anything, yeah? Okay, let's go.
Cool.
List of what offends the right. Pronouns, other people's genitals, same-sex couples, when men paint their nails, drag queens, rainbows, Bud Light, when people say Happy Holidays instead of Merry Christmas, books, libraries, Harry Potter, other people near them speaking languages that aren't English, especially Spanish, brown immigrants, vegetarians and vegans, women, especially child-free, highly educated women and women who exercise their bodily autonomy, different hair colors, when women wear makeup, when women don't wear makeup, cats, Taylor Swift, masks, mask mandates, when other people wear masks, vaccines, truth, reality, and facts, cities, the green, purple, and brown M&Ms, Disney, the Dixie Chicks, Eminem, Bruce Springsteen, Green Day, when fictional characters in movies aren't white, like Ariel in The Little Mermaid, gun-free zones, not winning elections, atheists, video games, Potato Head, and Barbie. It was just a joke. The left get offended, so.
So yeah, it's a bit simple, but I thought that was funny. So yeah, I like a bit of humor, but this next dude, by the way, Walter Masterson. If you know who Walter Masterson is, he's been making fun of this dude because he's like this date night guy, and he does all this shit where he tries to own liberals and stuff like that. But really, the mask is slipping now. This was just before the election, but it kind of really shows you the reality for some of these motherfuckers. And unfortunately, there's too many stupid women out there who fucking want this to happen as well. Let's go.
So I guess they misunderstood. When we said we wanted male-only voting, we meant male M-A-L-E.
So the guy who fired people from the Trump White House for liking Taylor Swift was only joking when he said women shouldn't be able to vote. Got it.
So the guy that created a website specifically catering to incel men doesn't want women to vote. Got it.
So the guy that authored Carter 2025 and now spends his time DMing 18-year-old women doesn't want women to vote? Got it.
El tipo que le da billetes falsos a la gente que no tiene hogar para que los arresten, no quiere que las mujeres voten? Got it.
Got it.
This guy who's 50.
No, he's 34.
He's 34?
Yeah, I swear to God.
Okay, so this guy who's 34 but looks 50 goes around making fun of women's bodies, and now he's telling us we shouldn't be allowed to vote? Got it.
So the man that's obsessed with little boy genitals doesn't want women to vote. Got it.
So the guy who wants black people imprisoned and uses stop and frisk as a dog whistle doesn't want women to vote. Got it.
The guy that made a dating app for people that are tired of getting canceled is the same guy that wants to give the president the power to fire federal officials for not being loyal. Got it.
So I guess they misunderstood.
Yeah, this guy's is absolutely full of shit. And yeah, thank you very much, Champ Goats.
Yeah, the first guy that stitched into
Walter Matheson. Yeah,
he does a ton of videos on the first guy he's stitching, and they're hilarious. But can I say something real quick?
Please.
After the election, there's all these MAGA right voters that are now triggered and being snowflakes and are so upset and they can't understand why their family and friends are cutting them off, and they're saying that we're being hypersensitive. But I would like to gently remind them that prior to Trump being voted in, you were going around saying that the Dems and liberals were evil, that if Trump won, you were going to not just put people in jail or gulags, but go further and pew or off them. And you wanted to take away rights. And then now that it's over and people are like, no, I don't want to be around you. You're like, but it was just politics. Why don't they get it? It's like, no, it wasn't. It was about humanity. It was about morals and constant threats. Were we not supposed to take it seriously when you said you wanted another war in the United States? Like they won, and they're still upset that they won because they didn't get to spill blood. You can see it in their eyes.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a spate of like these posts on social media about my family's abandoned me. They won't talk to me anymore because I voted Trump. Now, take these ones always with a pinch of salt, because it does sadly fall into the territory of these kind of dickers now, always needing to be the victims. They always conservatives need to play the victims, but they gaslight other people as they're the ones trying to play the victims. So I suspect that a lot of these posts have said, oh, my wife left me, or I left my husband because voted for Trump and all this kind of stuff. Most of those are probably just made up so they can get like sympathy. But I also wouldn't put it past people for ditching people for, not wanting to be around somebody that voted Trump, especially if they're a woman, gay, or trans. And, again, going back to the whole Israel thing, when I posted I posted something on Facebook about the incident that happened. About how the media makes Zionists look like the victims here. And my uncle, I have a large Israeli family, and my uncle just went off on me in the comment section. It's all there. You can go see it yourselves. Don't believe me. And I basically just told him, fuck you. I don't want nothing to do with you anymore. I texted him on WhatsApp and I said, don't ever speak to me. Don't ever talk to me until you grow up and see what your country is. I said, I've sent you a dozen articles, a dozen pieces of evidence, and this is still how you behave. Fine. When you come next time we speak, it better be with an apology. And so I don't blame people that have ditched their family members or their loved ones because of this, because you're not voting in your own interest. And we'll get to that because you can see in Trump's picks, and a lot of the people that he's picked have actually pissed off the people that voted for him. So we'll get to that later. Zan.
Okay. Just a couple of comments here. Daniel Vance wants a sandwich. Daniel Mullen says it's crazy how the Trump administration is starting to look. Champ Goat says gulag, but this is the point. This is the comment I like. I want to stay away from someone that's gay, mate. You are so far in the fucking closet. You're in goddamn Narnia. You know what I mean? The moment you wrote that, I realized, man, that you're fucking more bent than Uri Geller's spoons. So yeah, keep saying shit like that because you know what? You want fucking dick and balls right up your fucking shooter. Kennedy is calling for people on certain medication like opioids, ADHD medication, and benzo to be sent to health camps for 4 years or more to be taken off those meds altogether. Really? Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, I know about that. He really wants to change everything, and I wish there was something else as well.
Well, because he's a doctor, right? He would know. Oh wait, he's not a doctor. He wouldn't know.
Wait, he isn't? Oh, I'm shocked.
And no, but there was a really good clip. It wasn't on TikTok, unfortunately, so I wasn't able to share it on this. But like, there's so many things that people don't realize that federal money is being used for, like researching butterfly pollination. The right are really upset with that. Like, what the fuck are you spending money researching butterfly pollination for? But they don't. They're so fucking stupid. They don't understand how important things like pollination is. Yeah, because pollination helps with our food and everything. Yeah, but they don't get it. They just think of it. Oh, this is liberal bollocks. We don't research these things. It makes the world a worse place for everybody, including the fucking dickhead conservatives.
And they can't make the connection that it's also now more important because bees are being lost. Because if you go back down the line, rules were slackened or gotten rid of for companies to allow them to pollute the air, pollute the earth, pollute the water, which put the bees at risk and future, they're not going to be here. So yeah, if you want to eat, anyway, I'm frustrated.
Are recognized now as they're a protected species, and you can get in deep shit if you burn or destroy a nest.
Mate, so the fucking conservatives, especially the Republican conservatives in America, they would happily kill all the fucking bees to own their libs because
and they'll pay the fine. Like, they'll do it and they'll pay the fine because they don't get hit hard enough. They're like, oh, oopsie, sorry, you actually just caught me, if they get caught. And they'll pay the fine. They're a multi-billion-dollar corporation.
Well, under the Trump government, they're not going to be getting fines now. Everything's just going to get stripped back to nothing. And Rusty, I'll come to this comment here. Look, again, we're not like the right. We're not about owning the libs for the sake of owning the libs. If by some miracle Trump improves things, okay, then of course we'll just be like, oh, well done. Like when he opened relations with North Korea and talked to them, I give him a thumbs up for that. I'm like, yeah, why isolate? Of course, he threatened to blow them up beforehand, but afterwards he opened dialogue. When they gave money to people and he fast-tracked the vaccine during COVID under his presidency, given he botched everything else, those were thumbs up. But it's just not going to happen. It's just not. The people he's got in his cabinet, the people he's put in, are literally going to make things infinitely worse for everyone.
Christian Sharia.
Yeah, not just Americans. Everyone. Like the tariffs alone are going to fuck Britain up because the America is now our biggest exporting partner. So if they put tariffs on us, we are fucked. And Starmer should know this. And if he had a brain, he will start fast tracking to rejoining the single market because he's so unpopular that he might as well just take the hit and do it. Idiot.
Daniel Mullins says RFK Jr. is he says such a shame to Kennedy's name. Yeah, definitely. And there are clips of, by the way, of Donald Trump and RFK shitting on each other before they joined each other. There's a clip of Donald Trump saying that he would rather have Joe Biden in his administration than RFK. And he mentioned some things about health and all of that, and he would never put him in charge. And then boom, he's done it. He's done the very thing he said he wouldn't fucking do. He's fucking aligned himself with RFK Jr. and he's put him in charge of fucking healthcare. That's your guy, you know. So, and RFK Jr. as well has shat on Donald Trump and said how you'd be a disaster for the fucking country. But in the day, they don't give a fuck. You can just tell they're career politicians who just want to make a bit of money. Let's have a laugh, shall we?
Let's go.
Working for Diddy.
Absolutely.
I love Diddy. You know he's a good friend of mine. He's a good guy. Is he a good guy?
I don't want to answer that.
Oh, well, I think he's a good guy. I'm going to stick up.
Would you declassify the 9/11 files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify JFK files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
I think that less so because, you don't know. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there.
Your life.
The other day, a reporter asked you about Ghislaine Maxwell. You said, quote, I just wish her well, frankly. Mr. Ghislaine Maxwell has been arrested on allegations of child sex trafficking. Why would you wish such a person well?
I don't know that. I do know that.
She has. She's been arrested, huh?
Yeah, I wish you well. I wish you well. I'd wish a lot of people well. Good luck. Working for Diddy.
Absolutely.
He's so full of shit. And the only one in the comments who fucking want to fucking champion this nonce, shame on you. You know what I mean? He's basically a representation of your fucking personality, which is why you fucking support this fucking guy. Disgusting human being. So go on.
Yeah, and to add to that, all those people, because I've been thinking about this, that were saying it was just locker room talk when he was talking about grabbing women. I was in the army and I was around because I was part of the boys club. I was accepted. People spoke very freely around me. And I heard a lot of boys talk, but it was like, she's hot. Different parts of her body are hot. I'd like to do things with that woman. Oh, man, if I could. The difference here is that he said he does it, will continue to do it, and they can't stop him. So he's admitting to the act, and he's saying it's a power thing. So those are the essential criteria that SA falls under, right? It's not just about SA, it's about power as well. He's not fantasizing. He's not saying, hey, wouldn't it be cool, or that chick's hot. He's saying, I do these things. So when people say it's just locker room talk, there's a difference. Okay.
It's why he put RFK. Sorry, it's why he put Matt Gaetz as Attorney General. They're fucking birds of a feather. You know, they're all part of the same group. And prior to those clips showing, people were going on about Diddy and his connections to the Clintons and stuff like that. I mean, it's the same with Epstein and his linked to the Clintons, totally ignoring the fact that Diddy and Epstein are majorly connected to Donald Trump. They just want to totally ignore all of that, saying, oh, Donald Trump's not friends with them anymore. Well, he was friends with them, and he did fucked up shits with them when he were friends with them. Why is that being totally overlooked? And another thing regarding Kamala Harris, and I've had an argument.
Don't gloss over Matt Gaetz. A lot of people don't understand what he did.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about him a bit later when we talk about the cabinet picks. But regarding Kamala Harris, I had an argument with my cousin because he's saying, "Oh, she slept her way to the top" and all of this sort of shit, whilst totally ignoring the fact that someone like Donald Trump has already been in court over his issues with Stormy Daniels, who he had an affair with whilst he was still married. Whilst he's currently married to Melania Trump. Every wife he's had, and he's on his third wife now. He's cheated on each wife with the next wife, and he's cheated on his current wife with a fucking porn star. Just totally overlooked that.
Pregnant.
While she was pregnant with Barron Trump. let's just overlook all of that, because it just, for some reason, these sort of misdemeanors for somebody who's supposed to represent Christianity and family values don't fucking matter to these fucking dickhead Trump supporters, because they're all fucking full of shit. And that's why I get so fucking pissed off with them. They stand for nothing.
How does someone sleep their way to the top when they were voted into a position? I mean, that's hundreds of thousands of men. I mean, it's an impossibility.
Speculation as well, by the way. It's not. No one's got any fucking facts on this shit. Well, the facts on Donald Trump doing what he is there.
It's just a lie. It's just a flat lie. It's completely fabricated bollocks that she slept her way to the top. She's been married to the same man for like, I don't know, 30 years nearly now. Okay. She worked her ass off. Like, Kamala's a piece of shit. As a prosecutor, she was human garbage. All right. But she worked her ass off to get to where she got to. Trump didn't. Trump ran on a fake populist platform using left-wing policies to get to where he is. And if he'd run against Bernie, he would have lost. But again, the centrists would much rather, like, if centrists get 1% aggression towards the right as they do towards the left, we'd be in a totally different place by now. We wouldn't be in this mess. But the centrists would rather protect even a percentage point of their taxes from going up and destroy the left than go after fascism. They work hand in hand. There's no difference there. Because as long as your ideology is to protect capital, you're all in bed together. And Trump, people forget this, that Trump in 2016 ran on a fake left-wing populist platform. He offered Medicare for all. And his logic was what he had sound logic at the time to say, why are corporations paying for this? It should be like taxed and the people pay for it kind of thing. And all this kind of stupid shit. And people are like, yeah, absolutely. Medicare for all, fucking fantastic. And all that. That's what made him popular. That and the racist rhetoric, obviously. But, I'm just saying, like, he didn't get there just because of the racist rhetoric. He did have some policies that were very popular that are very left-wing. Now, with regards to now, we're going to the cabinet picks quickly. Last week, when we did the podcast, and we had the trolls kind of jumping on us and laughing and ha ha ha, he's the president for peace, he's the anti-war president and all of this. Well, those very same people have now woken up to the realization that he's not the anti-war president, and he never was, because he did a lot of shit under his own presidency, dropping the mother of all bombs, increasing drone strikes by 226% in just 2 years, let alone 4 years, and way more than what Obama did in 8 years.
Oh, and he assassinated a sovereign person in a sovereign nation, which could have led to a war.
The Iranian general you're talking about.
Yeah,
the
Iranian general helped almost form a coup in Bolivia and Venezuela. And
the American embassy in Jerusalem. Remember that one?
Yeah. The embassy in Jerusalem, all this kind of stuff. And now who does he pick? He picks a bunch of warhawk neocons like Marco Rubio to be, I think, is that the defense secretary or whatever?
Yeah, Tom Cotton's in there. That guy's a fucking, he never met a war he hasn't liked.
Yeah. Exactly. Mike Pompeo as the ambassador to Israel or secretary of Israel or some stupid things like that. Mike Huckabee as the thingy to Israel. Mark Pompeo, he got a bit of pushback, so he didn't select him, but he selected somebody that's worked under him instead, so he didn't really listen to the people. As the I forget the positions they're in, but these are all war hawks. These are people that want war with Iran. That he brought somebody in his cabinet now that's just absolutely going to allow Israel to annex the West Bank and all of this. So, and that brings me on to this one here.
Wait, just really quickly. So all those people that were protesting voting because they didn't want Kamala and threw their vote away and allowed Trump a greater chance of getting in, I hope your protest was worth it.
And which brings me to these guys. Muslims who voted for Trump upset by his pro-Israel cabinet picks. We told you before the election, we absolutely told you that it sucks that Biden allowed this to happen and is enabling the war. But Trump has said that we told you that Trump himself was saying that Israel, Biden administration is not helping Israel enough, and under him, he'll help Israel with more guns and money. And yet the Muslims still voted for Trump, thinking that he's the peace candidate, because they don't know this, they don't see this. The media doesn't cover all this crap, so they didn't know, and that's what they voted, thinking that this guy's all for peace and he's going to bring peace to the Middle East. Like, he assassinated an Iranian general in his previous administration, and now oh my god. Anyway,
I'll get onto your picks in a second. I just want to answer Daniel Mullen's question here, and Rusty Rivers' comment here. Like, she did not receive one vote in the Democratic primary. They did Joe dirty. I think Joe obviously didn't vote for Trump. Daniel Mullen says, here's a question for all three of you. Do you think Trump will be a dictator? He said he'd be. I think he will. I think it's not more to do with Trump. It's more to do with the Republican Party. I think they'll make it very difficult for Democrats to ever get back into power. When Trump was in office the first time round, he was really trying to fuck over the mailing system. And they might do that again this time round when it comes to, the next time round when it comes to elections. If people start to not be happy with the Republican Party, they might make it very difficult for Democrats to vote. But even if that's the case, even if they don't go down that route, I mean, the way they are now as a party, just generally, they might do some crazy measures. Just you just don't know with the way things are going. Once they're in power, they've got they're in a position of power now where they want to do the most unconstitutional things. They might not want to ever let go of that, regardless. So I might still pretend to be Democratic as well. So you never know. Regarding Trump, he'll be 82 when the elections are up again. He might just want to retire. I can't see him. He might be dead by then. Fuck. I mean, I'm hoping he died before the fucking inauguration. He's one fucking Big Mac away from a heart attack. So you never know. Like what will go on with him. That's just my opinion. Ginge?
Christine.
They don't have to go full out. Oh, I'm a dictator. They just have to wrap it up in a pretty bow, make enough changes so they can have control without you even knowing or using the word dictator.
Yeah. So how I see it is they're basically going to work hard now to just dismantle the administrative state and all the kind of safeguarding that's there from then basically solidifying power, whether Trump is there or not. This is the Project 2025. This is the evangelical endgame to seize complete power of the government one way or another. And they'll be and also Trump doesn't, Trump can go balls to the wall now. He doesn't have to get reelected. So he could just do whatever he wants. And some of his picks are basically, a lot of people are just saying this is just a pick to basically vendetta on his enemies, to go after his enemies.
And to stay out of jail.
Yeah, and to stay. Well, he's not going to go to jail now because the trial's just going to not happen. So he's avoided jail.
That's what I mean. That's another reason he did it.
That's the main reason he kind of ran again, was to avoid jail. Because he said before, he doesn't really want to run again. But in order to stay out of jail, and now he's in, and it's going to be whatever little charade of democracy America displayed is now going to be completely gone, and everything's just going to get 10 times worse.
Sorry. I need to comment. No. Before we get to that one, Rusty says now there's a lot of hatred. We're talking about a man who's a fucking pedophile and a rapist in Donald Trump, a convicted rapist as well. So yeah, any convicted rapist, as far as I'm concerned, deserves to fucking die. I think that's fair enough. Surely you agree, Rusty, unless you have no problems with rapists, especially the kiddie fiddler type like Donald Trump as well. And Biden's one flight from falling down says, you know what? We all are, mate. Biden's at least healthy physically. The guy rides bikes and shit like that. Doesn't have to wear fucking nappies or diapers, as you like to call it, and constantly shits himself like Donald fucking Trump does. So yeah, we're all capable of fucking falling down a flight of stairs and dying. You fucking genius.
CC22. I do like your hair by Rusty Rivers.
Thank you.
Very nice, Rusty.
I want to show you something now. By the way,
go for
because there's a this is not a TikTok. This is, as we're going on about the pics, this is the guy who could be in charge of the military, known as the Fox News guy. His real name is Pete Hegseth, I believe. I'm not sure if you can see that clip because I can't get a full clip of this.
Yeah,
but that's him shirtless with these fucking iron crosses, on his chest. He's got other tattoos as well. Oh, sorry, let me just go on here. He's got these tattoos as well, like on his figure. Like this guy, this is by the way, this guy doesn't want women in the military as well. He wants to ban them. He said that publicly on Fox News. Like, this is the guy who's going to be in charge of the fucking military. This fucking anchor wanker, So, yeah, you know what? You've never fallen. You've never fallen while riding a bike. I've seen fucking Tour de France fucking winners fall off their bikes. What the fuck is this guy on about, man?
Normally, I would fight that tooth and nail. Women have a right to fight for their own country if they can meet the standard. We can be just as patriotic or of value to that profession as anyone else. But if they want to be openly misogynistic, and if they want to start all these wars that I see coming for them, reap what you sow, you little chads and brads that tell me it's my body, your choice. Well, you're not just going to get part of the cake. You're going to eat the whole goddamn thing. And this is a part of it. No just icing for you, but the whole goddamn thing. And they're going to make sure that if you want to join the army or not, you're going to if they need you. And they're going to need a lot of bodies. So if you don't want us, they're going to take you.
Yeah.
So
little basement dweller.
Exactly, Daniel.
Yeah,
exactly, Daniel Mullen. He is a neo-Nazi. You don't have that fucking many crosses and think that you're a fucking vampire hunter. He's a fucking neo-Nazi, man.
Yeah, yeah, he is.
Yeah, I just want to quickly just on.
Yeah, she is. She's half black, half Indian. Do you not know anybody who's mixed race? Look at Tiger Woods. He's half black, half Thai. Like, people can be two things at once.
They don't understand that though because they're against interracial marriage.
Yeah. You can be Irish and Italian. You can take any group.
Yeah, like quick. Sorry, Chris. Please, I apologize.
It's all right.
I just want to do this bursting out of me. What about your boy couch fucker JD Vance? What are his kids? You know what I mean? Are they fucking Indian? Are they white? Or are they both? Because I would like to fucking know. Fucking Einstein.
No,
sorry.
Rusty. Stop it. Leave it.
Stop it. Sorry.
No, no, there aren't. Of course not. There is nobody in that. I don't even like half the fucking pigs in the Democratic Party.
They're all right wingers. All of them, even
they're all right wingers. You know what I mean?
The Democratic
side.
side.
Cabinet positions, with the exception of Bernie, who had a position somewhere. But also, Champ, whataboutism with Biden doesn't work because, first of all, we don't fucking like Biden. And also, you had a question earlier about nobody voted for Kamala to be the pick. And that's because they missed the deadline for primaries, or they chose not to do primaries. And once you do that and you miss the deadline, you can't then go and do primaries again because it fucks up your funding. You lose all your funding and you have to raise the money again. So that's why they just went with Kamala. This was explained time and time again. But, and that's because Biden is a piece of shit who didn't want to relinquish power.
And she fulfilled one of her 3 roles as vice president, right? Because everyone also blames her for not doing enough. She only has 3 roles, okay? She breaks a vote. She goes to state events or funerals for other people's prime ministers or whatever if they pass away. And third is she fills in if the president can no longer carry on. So she did her job, and she was in a position to do that job was because as a running mate, both her and Biden were voted for. So she was voted in.
Yeah. So she's not the one that's saying she isn't half Indian. You guys are just keep trying to paint her as one thing or another. She's never hidden the fact that she is what
It
she
could be
is.
multiple
And it's
things,
not
like
an
a national.
issue. It's not
Yeah,
an
it's not.
issue.
Yeah, it isn't an issue. I totally agree. And you could,
Actually, who's the woman on Trump's cabinet that tried to hide that she was Indian and has changed her fucking name?
she's not on Trump's cabinet, but she was involved with Trump. Nikki Haley. Her name
Nikki
is not, and her
Haley.
first name is not fucking. Her name is not Nikki. She's Anglified herself.
Yeah,
And a lot of Chinese
and
Americans do that, by the way. They anglify their first names.
No, champ. No. They've been worse on the border than the Republicans. They cracked down worse, but you don't know this because you're trying to feed into a narrative that they're weak on the border. They have not. Biden has not been weak on the border. All right, they've been fucking horrible on the border. They've been just as draconian.
And
Yes,
I
a lot of
just
people
said,
slip in, but hey, when you cut funding to things and you take away people's legal rights ways of getting through, they're just going to rush the border. But Joe's just been just as bad. And don't forget, Trump shut down funding for the border to bring in better controls because he openly admitted that he wanted to run on the platform of we're unsafe, the border's open, and all this kind of stuff.
So just before the election, to make this clear for you guys, there was a bipartisan bill that was put up. Both the Republicans and Democrats on this subject had a bill that was going to harden or tamper down on the border. And Trump told the Republicans, don't you dare pass this because I want to run on this. That's what Ginger is saying to you. Because I don't think sometimes you really got to spoon feed them.
Yep.
Yeah, they need something to run on. But if they've got nothing to run on, then they're fucked, and they don't want to help people, in any way whatsoever. They just want to feed their hatred. Bernie was not a moderate. Welcome, by the way, Sacred Chaotic.
Bernie was a moderate social democratic. My God, you're
did I say moderator? Bernie was a moderate social democrat. Yeah. He's the closest thing to a left-wing person they have in the Democratic Party, by the way. Yeah, sorry. We already covered that. Right wingers don't like Nikki Haley, well, because she ran against Donald Trump. That's the only reason. How dare you? How dare you? In the land of the free, be allowed to do certain things, like maybe promote fucking Bud Light if you're transgendered. How dare you? Like those fucking stupid Americans. Let's have a quick look at this.
Donald Trump will never go out there and say that his fellow citizens
That
should be
eyeliner.
censored or silenced for disagreeing with him.
So CBS gets a license, and the license is based on honesty. I think they have to take their license away.
I think ABC took a big hit last night. They ought to take away their license for the way they did that.
The Supreme Court, it should be illegal what happens. These people should be put in jail the way they talk about our judges and our justices. To get me, somebody would have to shoot through the fake news. And I don't mind that so much. We have some sick radical left lunatics. And I think and it should be very easily handled by, if necessary, by National Guard, or if really necessary, by the military.
Police tear gassed a crowd of protesters in Lafayette Square before Trump then walked to this nearby church for a photo op with the Bible.
I want to get a law passed. You burn an American flag, you go to jail for 1 year. Gotta do it. We gotta do it. They say, sir, that's unconstitutional. We'll make it constitutional. We're gonna make it constitutional.
Yeah, I mean, like the guy can sell fucking ice to Eskimos. And people want to believe that shit. For a start, if I bought the American flag, it was my fucking item. and I decided to burn my American flag, I'm gonna go fucking. And I was in America doing that shit. I'm gonna go to jail for 1 year in the land of the fucking free. Are you serious? Like, this is what he wants to fucking do, and he wants to ban all manners of fucking speech. You talk badly about our judges, you go to jail. Are you
Or him.
serious? Yeah, like this is Mr. Freedom of Speech.
Anyone in the news that says unflattering things about him, not even criticizes, what he has to say, but just, I don't like your hair. He wants it
standard
to be
dictator
legal
behavior.
to take
Every
away
dictator,
their voice. What happens
Saddam
when
Hussein,
something you
Xi
say?
Jinping, they'll do the same. Erdogan in Turkey, same shit.
Yeah, they
Fucking
think this is great because they agree with most of what Trump stands for, right? And they
Yeah.
like who he hates. They hate who hates. They don't like what the left says or other people say, so they're cool with it now. But what happens one day when you say something he doesn't like? Because that day will come.
I just, regarding these comments, by the way, a lot of these people, you fucking, you think it's okay to listen. If you don't like it, that's fine. But to go to jail for it, that's not freedom, mate. It might be disrespectful. There's a lot of things that disrespectful. Having a rapist as your next, as a president elect, is very disrespectful to fucking women and men and all types of people who fucking despise rapists. Yeah, but regardless, if you want to burn a flag, you should be able to fucking do it because it is the land of the fucking free.
I served in my military because I said to myself, I like how my country's run. I like the freedoms we have here. Do I like it when people when a person is called me a baby killer, or that they have the right to burn the flag? No, I don't. But I like the fact that they're free to do it, right? You can hate their message, but you can be proud and patriotic in the fact that they don't have to fear retribution from the government for having an idea.
But again, the issue we're having as well is the freedom-loving right-wingers have all of a sudden abandoned that messaging in favor of what Daddy Trump is saying. And now you see the messaging has gone from freedom, best democracy in the world, to we're not a democracy, we're a constitutional republic, and all this kind of shit. They changed the narrative. You don't have any principles or morals. You just want your side to be on top no matter what, even if it's at the detriment of yourself. So we don't respect your opinion because your opinion changes 24/7. Our opinion hasn't fucking changed. Our opinion is still the same thing. Equal rights for all, free education, free healthcare, free free housing. Well, not free housing, but housing for everyone and all this kind of stuff,
Affordable housing.
Things. Affordable housing. No, yeah, affordable housing or council housing as we have here, where you pay like a small rent towards the council, but it's not crippling or taking 60% of your wages, which is what's happening over here in the UK. All right, those are the basic principles of socialism, and it's never changed. With the right wingers, they need to find a new enemy. They need to move the goalposts all the time. They need to change what they said originally. Then they deny saying what they said originally. So we don't respect your opinion at all because you don't have an opinion. You just have whatever's flavor of the month. All right. The woman in that TikTok earlier listed a bunch of things that you get offended by. But the problem is the things that you get offended by is very dangerous because there are people at the end of that, like women, like trans people, that have seen their attacks against them skyrocketed, where governments, even here in the UK, have blocked them from getting puberty blockers and all this kind of stuff. Just for what? For what? To appease bigots. These things have consequences. And you people are aiding and abetting in the suicide and the death of marginalized groups.
You want to interfere in the lives of someone you will never meet or never know what they've gone through. but you think that you have a right to decide how they should best live their lives, when in reality, they do. And if they need the help of someone like a doctor, a professional, leave it up to them.
Yeah. And the thing is, look, champ, it's not the point that we want to burn it. It's that there should be, in a free country with freedom of speech, okay, there shouldn't be repercussions for exercising your freedom of speech. Here in the UK, you can burn the flag. There are no repercussions. Okay, you can do that because we have freedom of speech. The only difference between us here is you're not free from the consequences of some of your rhetoric. That's about it.
And
But-
it was an extreme example.
And it's exactly. It's an extreme example. It's just to say that nobody wants to go out there and burn the flag. But if they want to protest against the actions of their government by burning a flag, they should be free to do so. It's that simple. What don't you think about that?
Everything you think people are dying for, fine. Well, if they're not happy with how the country is going at the current moment in time and they're protesting and they want to burn the flag because of that, because those people who died have pretty much died for nothing under the new administration that will be coming in, then yeah, you have every right to burn it. The same way you have every right to sit down or kneel during the anthem, like Colin Kaepernick did. But it's constantly here from the right. You know, why don't you protest peacefully? There's nothing more peaceful than fucking kneeling, you know, and not standing for the national anthem. And by the way, you guys in America have got your fucking priorities so wrong. The way you fucking flag worship and anthem worship and care about these seriously insignificant things, you know, over issues that, you know, which affect society is very frustrating. But regardless, Kaepernick wants to fucking kneel for the fucking anthem, you know, to protest that way. You guys give him so much shit, the motherfucker loses his job. It's ridiculous. In the land of the fucking free. It's very frustrating.
Is on par with like North Korea stuff. You know what I mean? You have to
Yeah.
realize that it's very dystopian.
Yeah, should be fucking worshipping a flag. Should be bigger, more important things in this world than that fucking bit of material. Goddamn fucking Hicks. Sorry, I apologize. I couldn't help but say that. It's usually Hicks. Just, by the way, Donald Trump said that. And by the way, this is when he said he would become president-elect. So within 24 hours of being president-elect, he said this, and this guy's going to break it down.
Yeah,
broken his
I know
first
what this
promise
is.
to the American people, and he hasn't even been inaugurated yet. Remember, he promised within 24 hours after winning the election, he would end the war in Ukraine. He would call Putin, and he called Zelensky, and he would tell him, you got to make a deal, and it'd be so easy. He already knew what to say. Now, before you Trump supporters get in my comments, I brought the receipts.
I would fix that within 24 hours. And if I win, before I get into the office, I will have that war settled. 100% sure.
Well, it's been 24 hours, and that war is still going on. So maybe, Trump supporters, just maybe, this is your first sign that Donald Trump was full of it, that he can't just create these simple problems to very complex solutions. Maybe, just maybe, your energy bill won't be cut in half in 12 months after he's elected president. Prices probably won't drop back down to 2019 levels, but I will be here every step of the way to remind you of his promises made, promises broken.
Not only did he not end the war, Putin put up naked photos of your first lady.
Yeah.
So Putin basically took Trump, put him over his lap, and spanked him.
Yeah.
And sorry, just add to that. I have no problems with Melania Trump fucking showing her fucking vag and tits and all of that shit. I have no problem at all. I have an issue with the fucking right wing and the conservatives who have an issue with shit like that, but they're not caring that Melania Trump herself, the first lady, has done it, and that's where my issue lies, in the fucking in the hypocrisy of right wingers.
Yeah.
Like I too have. I'm not body shaming or sex shaming. I'm just pointing out too the fact that they're hypocritical, like Christian values, respect of the office, and pointing it out to them. That's what I meant by that.
Sorry, well, I need to respond to this. The Hicks just took over the most powerful government in the world. No, the Hicks didn't take over shit. You gave power to a bunch of swamp cunts Donald Trump and all his cronies who are not draining the swamp, they are the swamp. You think having people like fucking Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, is draining the swamp? He's the very definition of the fucking swamp. What you've done is you've signed your fucking life away, you stupid fucking hicks. All right.
He has no incentive to make lives better for the American people. He only wants to enrich his own wallet. And now he has better access and more strength to do that, more avenues to do that. So,
okay, I want to go to this comment, and then I'm just going to go to a bunch of tweets and things that I have on my computer regarding Trump, because otherwise I'm never going to get to that.
Okay.
And then we can carry on with the other stuff. So I just want to go to this. How do you feel that Kamala told two Christians they're at the wrong rally when they yell Jesus is Lord?
They never said that. They were going Trump, Trump, Trump. You know,
Yeah.
and yeah. So you've been misinformed. But...
You've been misinformed. They were yelling Trump. All right. She also shit on pro-Palestinians as well. I'm talking here. Okay. God. Right. Okay.
If you realize that was a mistake. Look. Don't get me wrong. Just so you guys know, we're not fucking Kamala bootlickers the way you are like Trump bootlickers. We had a choice, Kamala or Trump. Kamala was obviously the better choice. If we could, we would not even fucking choose Kamala in the first place. But those are our fucking choices. We're not big fans of Kamala, the fucking dumb bitch. She brought in people like Liz Cheney on a campaign. Way to fucking lose it. You know what I mean? She's kowtowing to the fucking right wing by doing that border policy bollocks. Way to fucking lose the election. She's not fucking listening to Palestinian supporters at all. She had during all of her rallies, she never brought in any pro-Palestinian people in her rallies whatsoever. You know, she lost the Muslim vote. All of these things because her campaign was really bad. But still, I'll choose her over fucking Donald Trump if I had the choice.
And post-election, they're still saying that they should have gone further right. This is how stupid, the Democratic Party is. Like, they're still blaming the left. They're still blaming everyone else but themselves and their bad policies. So, and again, just to make it perfectly clear, we're left-wing. The Democrats are not left-wing. They're center-right. You'd know this if you had a modicum of brain.
They have no idea what the left wing is. They have no idea in America what left wing truly is, because you think the fucking Democrats are because they're okay with trans people and gay people, whilst you guys fantasize over them but have to pretend that you have to hate them.
Yeah, right. I'm going to go to these stuff now and then, right. So just to be clear, because I can't be bothered to keep putting these up on screen. So it's just coming off of my computer. Sorry if the camera was a bit jaded and shaky there, but I'm just reading this off just so you think I'm not plucking them out my ass. So at Rich Plow, Trump has officially announced he's getting rid of the Department of Education. Honestly, this is what it's done it for me. You're an imbecile if you didn't vote against this dude. Fucking idiots. You all have no clue of the ramifications. So first of all, what I want to know from the right wingers, what is the point of getting rid of the Department of Education? How does that help? Especially when
they need it.
It will also affect people with special education needs. Someone was being pro-Trump at work. I told them, do you know your position is paid for by SPED dollars, which will go away if they get rid of the Department of Education? And that they said they were dumbfounded. So again, people that work in this area that voted for Trump, people with special education needs are going to lose money funding that helps them. Explain to me the benefits of getting rid of the Department of Education.
Whilst you wait for the answer, William Wells, welcome. William Wells is a fellow Trekkie, like myself and people within the NerdTube community, and he's glad that Trump won. But William Wells, one of the things us Trek fans like is the idea of our future being similar to Star Trek, a socialist, non-financial future, by the way. Where there's no bigotry whatsoever. You judge on the content of your character, like Martin Luther King says. All of these things. If you've seen the original series, you obviously have. You know that series is woke just as much as every other fucking Star Trek episode and show. is woke as fuck. Yet you're happy that somebody like Donald Trump won, who's the polar opposite to the future that you fucking would love us to represent at some point. It makes no fucking sense. It makes no fucking sense.
Yeah. Anyway,
How the fuck can you be happy that Trump won?
One of my employees, a former DACA recipient who became a US citizen through marriage, recently shared his reasons for voting for Trump. His parents, who are undocumented, have worked hard to make a life here. His father in construction, his mother medical equipment manufacturing. Great jobs. Despite the risks, he feels the need to protect them, especially now. His choice to support Trump was driven by concerns over inflation, which, by the way, that is the number one reason the Democrats lost. It was over the economy, because every single country in the last year or year and a half where there's been elections, the opposition has won, and because the main issue being on the economy. It's the wide reason the Tories got wiped out. It's why Labour are going to lose the next election at this rate, or will end up with hung parliament, because again they're just carrying on the same policies. But in every country where they had elections, the main reason they lost was because of the economy. So America's no different. It's not about Palestine. It's not about this and that. People voted with their wallets, but of course they made a huge mistake. But I digress. But this guy voted, a DACA recipient. His parents were illegals, but they still worked here. He's voted for Trump thinking he's going to save his family financially, only that when the mass deportations happen, his parents are going to be on that bus.
Yes. Fucking yes.
And look, Trump's advisors turbocharged denaturalization project spears fear among immigrant communities after the election. So they're going to turbocharge this. This is one of the election promises he's going to want to keep to thing. But to the Democrats now, another Democratic operative close to Harris World says they sent memos and data to Harris campaign staffers underscoring how, among other things, Republican voters, believe it or not, vote Republican, and that the data over the past year screamed that Democrats instead needed to reassure and energize the liberal base and Dem-leaning working class in battleground states. Quote, "We were told to basically get lost, no thank you," says the operative. A Harris spokesperson did not immediately request for comment. So, again, attacking on Kamala Harris's bad strategy there of trying to appease the right, which was stupid. Anything to say, guys, before I move on to the next?
Yeah, just something. This is their term, not my term. Illegal. If you want to talk illegal and anchor babies, Trump's mother in 1929 came to the United States illegally. Just saying. And not only that, even though Elon Musk is a citizen now, he came in on a student visa, but he didn't go to school. He went to work. And technically, anytime you're caught lying along the way to your path to citizenship, if you're caught, they have a reason or a legal reason to take it away from you. Do I see any of that happening? Of course not. But I just thought I'd point that out. It's good. It's good for you, but not for me, kind of thing. You know what I mean?
I just want to also add that anyone especially if they're Latino, and I say that specifically because apparently some American Latino person does know somebody within their family or friends who's an undocumented immigrant. If they voted for Trump, so any Latino person who voted for Trump, who knows people who are undocumented, dob them in to the authorities, where they deserve exactly what they deserve. If they wanted to vote for Trump, then let them lose their fucking family members to fucking deportation, because that's what they fucking voted for and they fucking deserve it. But they need to really, truly feel the consequences of their fucking vote.
Also, I would add to that, normally I would never say out someone because their lives might be put in danger. But for those guys on the down low, for those of you guys that aren't on the down low and were hanging out and doing other things with those down low Republicans that voted against your safety, Well, let them live that same fear out, those motherfuckers.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course,
By the
Elon
way,
Musk. Yeah, go on.
The champ goat put this comment with a YouTube video. You want to have a look at it?
Yeah, can do.
Let's have a look at it 1 second.
Put it in.
And let's see how we can respond to it if we can. It's Sky News Australia.
Again, because they voted. They voted.
Harris got pro-life protest.
They
I would
voted
vote pro-life
because of the economy.
There is.
Sorry, are you getting that? Yeah.
Yeah.
They're working.
Example of how differently these administrations will run and
Rupert
make
Murdoch.
policy. Then at 2 rallies over
Rupert
the
Murdoch's Sky
weekend,
News.
where someone called out Jesus is Lord at a Kamala Harris rally, and someone called out Christ is King at a JD Vance rally. And their reactions were chalk and cheese. Look at how Kamala reacted to this fellow in the crowd simply calling out Jesus is Lord.
That's not what they did.
With the intention that they would undo the protections of Roe v. Wade, and they did as he intended. Oh, you guys are at the wrong rally.
Hold on. Let's just listen to that again because I found that extremely inaudible.
He intended. Oh, you guys are at the wrong rally.
And by the way, just so you know, Chamgo, there's 3 atheists in this panel right now. You know, as far as I'm concerned, Jesus, Lord, whatever, Jesus can go fuck himself because he's absolutely useless. He's a useless prophet, done nothing but caused misery throughout the world because we have diseases, famine, and all types of terrible things happening to us with people dying unnaturally. So what's the fucking point of Jesus being Lord? He's fucking useless. Get off your ass, Jesus, and make this fucking world a better place, you fucking hippie looking cunt. Anything else?
Wait. Even if he did say Jesus is Christ, which is, I don't think he said that, but let's say he did. You can't then connect that to say that he was a pro-lifer because that's not the words he used. And she wasn't telling him to leave because of his words. He was telling him to leave because he was heckling. So it was not the
you're at the wrong
words.
rally. You know what I mean? Oh no, I think you did shush him off. But the point is, again, look. Hang on. Look how the narrative is twisted there. They put there pro-lifer just says Jesus is Lord and is ejected in that. But we've seen from the other angles that they just kept yelling Trump, 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 Trump. Okay, they were heckling and disrupting the protest by constantly yelling Trump. And then at some point they would have put Jesus is Lord. But because they said that and then Kamala responds with that, the right-wing media, the Rupert Murdoch-owned Sky News, runs with that narrative. That doesn't prove any. It just proves how stupid you are. That you just want to paint the narrative that they're trying to shut down, Trump supporters and free speech. But they are doing that because they did it to Palestinians as well, who were also heckling and all this kind of stuff. But we're not sitting here painting the Democrats as like some kind of good guys and all this. We've also seen the opposite. We've seen people. What was it at the last rally that they in 2020 or something, where there was people that were chanting like Biden or whatever they were chanting. They got punched in the fucking head. Okay.
And Trump told them to do it.
I want to add,
all this kind of stuff.
I want to add to that because there were people who were at Trump rallies protesting against Trump, and either get them the hell out of here, and he was talking about how he was always cool with the police hitting people and stuff like that, abusing people, and he also said, "Don't worry about hurting this person. I'll pay for your legal bills." He just said that off a whim. He's never gonna fucking do that. He's just full of shit. He's a horrible person. He is a lot of his cult like following are just as horrible as he is. He lets their evilness come out of them, And yeah,
Yes,
showing
they are.
a clip like that when I've seen Trump fans beat the shit out of Democratic protesters at their rallies, it's chalk and cheese. Sorry, I need to get to some of these comments here. Well, the amount of Latinos who voted for Trump was actually crazy. Yeah, because in America, in the end of the day, it could be Latinos, blacks, whatever. They're all fucking idiots because they're fucking Americans. And Americans are the biggest fucking idiots, hence why they have a problem with your education. They're so fucking stupid in that part of the world. You know what I mean? They you know, if they were snowmen, you know, they would vote to live in the fucking desert. William Wells, I do understand what's going on with immigrants. I don't think it's right that they have to wait on. It's more than just immigrants, William. When you voted for Trump, you're happy for voting for Trump. You voted for fascism, mate. You voted for women to lose their autonomy rights. You voted for so many terrible things. You saw earlier on, I showed you a picture of the new guy who could be charged in the military. He's got fucking iron crosses all over, tattooed all over his fucking body. The guy's a white supremacist. These are the people you're fucking voting for, mate. And as somebody who is a Star Trek follower, you should fucking know better. How dare you disrespect? Yeah, sorry, go on.
Military members who already did a pledge to, protect America from enemies within and without. Now Trump wants them to pledge allegiance to him. That's that contraindicated to the whole idea of having a military to protect a nation.
Yeah. Also, before you move on that guy, the Fox News guy, that's been made the was his Secretary of Defense or wherever.
Something like that. Yeah, I just call him military guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody on the right has said anything about the fact that he works for Fox News. If this was an MSNBC person that got into the cabinet of Biden, there would have been huge outcries that it's a conflict of interest. I mean, if ever you want to tell me Fox News is fair and balanced, and yet the Trump administration puts in one of their guys in there, like how fucking stupid are you?
Yeah,
that is a huge conflict of interest. A Fox News guy gets into the cabinet of the like
a powerful nation.
How many people in that cabinet are even elected officials?
I don't know enough about politics, but I know this, that if you're going to hold the highest position other than the president for a military, even though he has been overseas, he's hasn't been in for over 10 years. He did not reach a high enough rank, whether he's righty or a lefty, to have the capacity to run an army. He's so unqualified. It scares me to put that much power at the hands of someone who doesn't know what they're doing with it. It's like giving your 5-year-old a loaded gun.
And before anyone chimes in on what Christine's saying, how many years were you in the military?
17.
There you go.
GI Jane right here.
GI.
How dare you disrespect Jesus? You'll burn in hell. Fantastic. You know what? Jesus, Moses, Muhammad, Buddha, all of these fucking gods, the sun gods, the Native Americans worship, all of these, they can suck it, baby, suck it. You know what I mean? Fucking hell. Damn, Zam, you're trying to piss everybody. I'm not, look, I'm just speaking my mind. I'm not honestly, I'm not trying to piss off everybody. At the same time, surely somebody like Champ 15 Go, who fucking supports somebody like Donald Trump, who they love, who trolls people on the opposite side, can't fucking respect my fucking opinions. I mean, what a dickhead!
Speech, right?
Yeah. Sky News Australia, yeah. Sky News just generally is pro-Trump, regardless. William Wells, all right, fine, you didn't vote, but you were happy that Trump got elected, so it's just as bad, mate. You know what I mean? I didn't vote either, but I'm a British citizen. I'm not happy that Trump got elected. See, there's a difference right there.
I want to take this next comment. I want to see if Rusty gets my reference. But Fox News is asshole. Why Dennis hate? If you get that reference, I want your answer in the comments. But yes, Fox News is an arsehole. But I don't know why you're saying Fox News is an arsehole. They parrot all the Republican talking points. They're very pro-Trump. So I don't understand. They should be your best friend, right? Right? Just saying. Yes, join us on YouTube. That's absolutely right. Elon Musk, speaking of people that aren't elected in, Elon Musk is going to run the Department Office of Government Efficiency, Doge. So we've got a Dogecoin plug there, and he's going to run it with Vivek Ramaswamy. So they're off to a great start. They're needing 2 people to run the department. Very efficient there.
Which they made up, by the way, just for him.
Yeah, they made up just for him and to help prop up Dogecoin, which its value skyrocketed.
Over 200, almost 300%.
This isn't a serious government, but unfortunately, they have the nukes. Okay, these crazy people have the military firepower to wipe us all out, and this is a circus in charge. The Doge department, like, good Lord.
All they had to do was buy a bunch of coins prior to knowing, which is insider trading, by the way, which they totally did. Create this position, put them in this position, and all the coins they already bought skyrocketed. They could dump them now, and they just made a shit ton of money.
Well,
just by doing that one thing.
Yeah, as soon as Trump got in, billionaires' wealth exploded. Did you get richer for voting for Trump? No. And Rusty Rivers, and I want to apologize for making an assumption that you're a Republican. I apologize.
You sound like a libertarian, probably libertarian.
Maybe libertarian and all this
Which
kind
is
of
pretty
stuff.
much-
But either way, sorry, because I can't stand it when people insinuate that about us. And so I want to apologize for insinuating that you're a Trump supporter, a Trump voter. Maybe you did vote for Trump this time round, but if you're not a Republican, then yes, my apologies. You see,
I just want to add, because I've invested in crypto. I've invested over £1,000 in crypto. Right now, I bought 0.01% of a share on Bitcoin. When I bought it, it was at that price. I bought it for £475. That percentage of a share is currently worth £661. It's gone up by 39%. Ethereum is a bit down, but Dogecoin, I was going at 10p 785 per share. Sorry, no, let me rephrase that. It was going at 0.35 pence a share. So 3.5p a share was Dogecoin. It's now 10p a share, or almost 11p a share. I bought almost £16 worth. Now my shares are worth £52.90. It's gone up by 233%, which is incredible. You know, right now I'm on a profit because of all the other shares I bought up. But I like buying my shares. I like to buy like penny stocks and stuff like that. And Dogecoin was that. Took a chance on that. Got very lucky considering what's been happening to us financially. With Musk and stuff. I got kind of lucky how things turned out for me. But right now my shares are £300 more than what I spent on it. So I'm kind of lucky.
And before
there you go.
people
We got
say-
a very own Elon Musk here.
And before people say, "Oh, you only made about £50 so far," Elon Musk isn't buying at 1p a share. He's buying, millions of dollars worth.
Yeah.
So he knows what's coming. It's insider trading. It's coming up. So he takes $1 million that he could lose anyway. But then he makes $1 billion. So
yeah.
A comment here. William Wells. Sorry, let me get the William Wells one. I need to concentrate on scammers. They need to, mate. You've got the scammer in the fucking White House. In January, in Donald Trump. This guy is such a scammer. He tried to scam people into thinking that the election was stolen. Come on, why are people such
he
bad
cannot
judges of
run
fucking
a
characters?
charity. He can't run a
Thank you,
charity
Christy.
in New York because they found him guilty of scamming.
Yeah,
He scammed a cancer charity or children's charity. Yeah.
And how can we forget Trump University? The guy can't just start a college and put a stamp on it. That's Trump University. He scammed the fuck out of all the people who wasn't that. No wonder people like Andrew Tate was inspired by Donald Trump by doing his own pyramid scheme scam in Hustlers University and shit like that. It's like a modern day version of that. And Rusty Brothers, you know, you might not be affiliated, but you still voted for Trump. So, mate, you Republican or Democrat,
Take that
you
back. You voted
oh, for
Republican.
fuck's sake, man! Like, come on, man! You voted for a rapist, pedophile, dude. You know, what I mean, you voted for a guy who went to Howard Stern's radio show and openly bragged about walking in on young women while still getting changed during his beauty pageants.
Not
You
even
know,
women,
like
children.
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 Yeah,
15-year-old
the
girls,
guy,
14-year-old.
the guy who was on that talk show who said what he has in common with his daughter Ivanka, and he said sex. This is the man you voted for, you know. So
And he said when he walked in on those underage persons, children, he said, and there was nothing they could do about it. So, I mean, just that's creep. That's
Yep.
disgusting. That's pedophile behavior.
Let's just give people a reminder as well with
I
this.
know more about ISIS than
When he-
the generals do.
I know more about.
Sorry. When he starts doing the invisible accordion, he's fucking bullshitting.
weapons and just about anybody.
I know more about steelworkers than anybody.
I know more about drones than anybody.
I know more about politicians than anybody. I know more about technology than anybody. I know more about ethanol than anybody.
I know more about wind than you do.
Nobody knows consultants better than me. Nobody knows more about trade than me.
Nobody knows the system better than me.
Nobody knows banking industry better than me. Nobody knows more about environmental impact statements than me.
Nobody knows more about it than me. Nobody knows it better than me.
And nobody knows it better than me.
Nobody knows
That
it
sucks, William. Sorry to hear that.
better than me.
About Project 2025. So you've publicly said that you don't have any direct connection to Project
Nothing. I know nothing about it.
I know nothing about Project 25.
I know nothing about QAnon. I know nothing about it. I know nothing about the indictment.
I know nothing about WikiLeaks.
I have no idea who these women are. I don't know anything about
Oh God.
I don't know Putin. RFK, I don't know anything about him. I know nothing about white supremacists. I don't know who the Proud Boys are. I don't know anything about David Duke.
I know nothing about Hitler. I don't know anything about it.
I don't know anything about it.
I don't know anything about it. I don't know anything about it.
I didn't know anything about it.
I don't know anything about it. I don't know who Little John
Oh,
is.
God.
It was on The Apprentice.
I don't know.
I know more about
Sorry.
ISIS than
You know what was
the
really?
generals
Oh,
do.
sorry, I'm trying to pause this. You know what was funny is he said, "I know nothing about Hitler. I know nothing about Hitler." He said that. You know, like, he's the polar opposite. When he says he knows shit, he doesn't, and when he says he doesn't know shit, he does. And this motherfucker said he
When he
knows
gets
nothing
pushed
about.
back, when he gets pushed back and called out, he knows nothing.
And how
Otherwise,
can
he knows
someone
everything.
how can someone be taken seriously when they say no more they know more about wind than anyone else? Wind. Wind.
Yeah, this guy thought windmills causes
He's full of
cancer.
it. That's why he shits himself all the time because he's full of wind. It just comes out of such ferocity that fucking so does his stools.
How do you spend your entire adult life and know nothing about Schmittler?
Yeah, well, he knows nothing about anything. Let's be honest. They had to. I remember when like there were so many leaks coming out from the White House when he was president last, and they had to do things in like short sentences with pictures for him to understand. Like that's how thick this guy is, and you know, again, speaking of Republicans, this is the party that loves the military, respects the military, until they put in somebody in the department that's going to do this. Wow, Vivek Ramaswamy comes out for defunding veterans' health care. That's 120 billion. He wants to defund the 516 billion spent annually on programs with expired authorizations and so forth. So to Mike Embrich replies, to all my veteran brothers and sisters, I spent the better part of the past year trying to warn you about this. While many of you were concerned, some seem more worried about illegals taking your benefits. Now Congress will be the ones to get them. So this is yet again Republicans coming in and taking away more things from veterans, the people that gave you your freedom. They love them so much that they want them to rot in hell. So good find. Oh, and just quickly on this one here, new study: 54% of American adults read below a 6th grade level.
Yeah.
Just so you know. Sam.
William Wells says the scammers took my EBT. I don't know what that EBT is, but I'm sorry that's happened to you. But once again, you're talking about a man who constantly scams his own voters by selling them bullshit all the fucking time, whether it be watches, sneakers, fucking coins, and NFTs, and I think it's some Baron Trump was doing crypto scams as well. So I just feel sorry for you. I mean, I know you said you didn't vote for him, but you support like a veteran scammer in Donald Trump. Rusty Rivers, it's all politics. I've not heard of any pedo charge. The dude hanged around with Jeffrey fucking Epstein. He's already been
And Diddy.
And Diddy. He's been like on Epstein's book. He's been to his fucking island on the Lolita Express as well. You know, there was that. And even if you've never heard the charge, you must have heard about the rape charge regarding Eugene Carroll. You must have heard about that. That alone, once somebody's been charged for rape, they should never even be a consideration to be fucking president of the United States. And an argument I've had constantly with my cousin, who, regardless of me bringing this up, still wants to pivot onto other things. You know, but he's a rapist. That's it. It should be game over. There's no more discussion about Donald Trump ever being president. But motherfuckers just want to ignore that shit.
Oh, and also, you know, they call the trans and drag queens as groomers and pedophiles. And Matt Gaetz is now the Attorney General, and that guy's a sex trafficker for underage girls.
Yep.
So congratulations there, Rusty Rivers. If I help ruin the world with my vote this year, sorry, I say give it time. See what we know what's going to happen. Listen.
I hope we're wrong. I hope we're wrong. And I hope people like you, or I hope other people are opening their eyes like you seem to be right now. I do. But it's too late. You voted him in.
Yeah, it's and just to be perfectly clear, like again with Labour, like I said, people should really vote Green and Independent rather than vote Labour. Now I get it, people voted Labour to get the Tories out. But regardless of that, we knew Labour were going to win. But I said to people, okay, just so you know, like it's so easy to predict politics. I'm nothing special. You just, you know, history just repeats itself. And we said to people, that's fine if you're going to get Labour in to vote the Tories out, but they're just going to continue Tory policies. They're not going to give you an ounce of improvements within your life. And they've done it. They've even done it worse stuff. Or they've just allowed Tory policies to just continue and take place, like the raising of tuition fees. Council tax is going to go up now. Our bills have gone up again. They've taken away winter fuel allowance from pensioners unless they're on pension credits. So that's fucked my mum up because she's not on pension credit either. And this is just, you know, I forgot. I lost my train of thought. But the point is, we know they were going to do this. And people still think, oh, it's still better than voting Tories. I'm like, if you're voting for the same thing, then what you might as well do is just set the country on fire and let it rebuild again and see what happens that way. Because it's preferable to just voting in the same shit. And with Trump, it's just going to accelerate. I mean, it's a good thing for us in the sense that it's just accelerating the end of the American empire. There's a great meme. Let's see if I can find it.
While you're doing that really quick, in Canada, we have many parties. We have 3, sometimes 4 that usually hit really high numbers. But the NDP hover around 3 and 2 mostly. And the leader of the party is a man named Singh. And a lot of schmatzis don't like him. So he was walking outside of Parliament one day, and some dick said something behind his back really loud, and he turned around, normally not for violence, by the way, turned around and said, who said that? Come on, say it to my face. And he was going to kick his butt. Like, he was like, come on now.
Yeah. He's
you
a
got
Sikh.
the words, I got the fist, and he's a Sikh too. And the guy totally backed down. He's, oh, no, it was the other guy. It was the other guy. It's like, no, sweetie, it was you. Come on now. Come on. So what he did the other day was Pierre Poilievre, who's a CP leader, total asshole and liar. And you can tell he's lying because his lips are moving. He said something. And in Parliament, you don't want to start something in Parliament because it is, you know, sacred. You're professional there. Singh said to him, he's like, all right, let's go outside. You want to say that shit to me? Let's go outside. And the guy just wilted like a flower because he talks tough, blah, 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 blah. And she's like, all right, let's go. Come on.
Yeah. Just pussies. But this is where the American empire is right now. You are right here. Right there. This is the decline and fall of Western civilization. Well, this is the decline of like the Roman Empire, and this is where we are now. After Trump's presidency, will probably be the next phase down. But it is perfect, and it's quite shocking that time and time again, no matter the empire, they all follow the same path towards the downfall. The only empire who didn't follow that path towards the downfall was the British Empire, but that was because of the Second World War breaking out and bankrupting them, so they couldn't afford to keep their empire running. But every other civilization, every other empire does this. They elect nut jobs that destroy the country from within, and that just collapses power everywhere. It happened in Rome. It's going to happen in America. It's happening right now.
You know, they say it's an average of 250 years,
Yeah.
the studies.
I was going to say that, 250. And the American Empire, I think currently is at 248. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So Rusty Rivers, come on, mate. You can't be saying this as a rebuttal. Liable for sexual assault, not saying it's much better, but not rape. Well, if you got your fingers up some girl's vag, and she doesn't want it, that's fucking rape, mate. You know what I mean? That is fucking rape. Sorry, Chris, please.
So to the and I use this term lightly or loosely. So the gentleman that just said that, so if I bent you over a table and forced my finger up your behind, that wouldn't be so bad. Like, really? Like, it wasn't like someone put their penis up my ass. I mean, it's kind of okay because it was just the finger.
Buy me a drink first, and then we'll talk, Christine. You know what I mean? But yeah, no, again, spot on. Just because it wasn't a penis doesn't mean it was a rape. You know.
Yeah, and once again,
what do you think they use?
And once again, Rusty, it should be sexual assault. Fine, you want to call it that? You know what? I'll give you it. How the hell are you going to vote for this guy to be fucking president then? Like you wouldn't trust this person around any woman. Mr. Grab him by the pussy. Let's not forget. Yeah.
He wasn't here earlier, maybe?
1 second, Sam. 1 second. Go. Please. Come out of that. I just wanted to say 1 second. And also, this also falls on the Democrats as well, because Biden had many accusations of inappropriate behavior towards women, and in one instance, sexual assault. And they still buried that in the media, and they ignored it. And that was like the death knell in the Me Too movement, by the way, which completely fell apart because it ended up just being run by
Kamala Harris went after him for that, by the way. Kamala Harris made accusations. Yeah, she did. But she shut her mouth once she became VP. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And that destroyed the whole Me Too movement. So it falls on both sides. You don't vote for these kind of people in. And that's destroyed the Me Too movement completely. And nothing's changed. We're right back to square one. Christine, sorry.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I don't know if Rusty was here earlier. I was in the Army for 17 years, fully accepted into the boys club. There's a difference between guys saying dirty and filthy things about women and what they would like to do to women, and bragging about assaulting women and continuing to assault women, and then saying there's nothing they can do about it because I'm rich. There is a difference. Now, add to that, he was on Epstein's paperwork from 2008 in Florida. The paperwork has now been released, which he fought against. His name's all over that. It's flight logs, it's massage appointments. His name's on that. He was adjudicated guilty of rape. So why do people want to excuse not one, not two, and not the three I just mentioned, but many more other things, and say, yeah, that's the leader I want to control. That's
Jesus.
the leader I want to be responsible, not just for me, but for my daughter's lives, for my sister's lives, for my wives' lives.
And
shame on you.
And just to add to
Shame
that,
on you.
and just to add to that, Chris, as well. Like he's saying they're all scumbags, and he's saying King Ginger Greek regarding what he brought up with Biden. But on this particular occasion, Rusty Rivers, Biden wasn't fucking running. It was Kamala Harris, and she ain't a fucking rapist. She might have kept her mouth shut. Sorry, Kamala, I apologize. It's a mistake I do make. I'm glad people correct me. She's not the rapist. Trump is. So Trump was on the flight logs, never found guilty of. Yeah, but he's a sexual assaulter, dude. It's the same shit. Why are you defending that? Like, come
Are
on,
you
man.
this good at actual gymnastics? Like, are you a pole vaulter? And can you get, can you do the uneven bars?
Yeah, come on,
Jesus
dude.
Christ.
There's no point for mental gymnastics. Like,
Okay, let's take him off the logs. All right, let's just ignore that. All right, I'll give you that. I don't believe it, but I'll give you it. He was adjudicated guilty of rape. Okay, guilty. Not only that, from his own mouth, he said he was sexually assaulting women repeatedly, would continue to do it in the future, and no one could stop him because he was rich. You can't deny that.
He says he says he doesn't ask him. He just kisses them without asking them, grabs them by the pussy. I mean, he is. He did mention he was on the. Not he didn't say he wasn't. He said he was on the flight logs. Exactly. You were saying it yourself. So like, once it and even if you want to like go away from that, all the other things that he's been guilty of his when it comes to his scamming and inconsistent lying and all of these things, and what he said about his daughter about having the common thing is having sex, like. Come on, man. Like, his relationship with Epstein and Diddy. You voted for this guy with all this baggage, and I'm not saying Kamala Harris is perfect. None of us is saying that, but she is so much better than fucking Donald Trump in every aspect.
Gary, sorry, I just got thanks. I just got someone messaged me. I'm not sure what you meant by that, but let the other two guys know because it might be relevant, and we'll stop doing. Because we don't want to bully someone if what I think you're saying is true.
All right, look, let's just move on. I want to show you this clip here. This is neo-Nazis outside a performance of the Diary of Anne Frank.
Here in
Shock
Canada,
and fear at a performance of the Diary of Anne.
Sorry, what were you saying, Chris?
That was in Hamilton in Canada. I was so ashamed.
Okay, fair enough.
And Frank, not because of the disturbing details from her diary, but because of what was happening outside. Nazi flags being held by several people gathered outside of the production. This video shared on social media shows the demonstrators flying the Nazi flag outside the American Legion where the play was being performed.
Several individuals using masks to hide their faces, not only waving Nazi flags, but also reportedly shouting racist slurs. According to several reports, they eventually vacated the premises after the Legion asked them to leave. We have reached out to authorities for more information about this.
We had 75 people downstairs that watched that play. And out of that 75, there was 50 or 60 of them that were afraid to leave this building. We had to escort them to their cars. Nobody in America should feel like that.
Shock and fear at a performance of the Diary of Anne Frank, not because of the disturbing details from her.
Okay.
I
And
thought it was in Hamilton, Ontario, where that happened.
No.
I guess I'm mistaken.
Unless
But
there was
if-
another
if-
incident in Hamilton, Ontario as well.
I think there might have been. But if my message to those people, if what you're saying is so important and so right, why do you got to put the mask on?
Yeah.
Nothing to be ashamed of, right? If what you're doing is correct.
Oh, Rusty has a kink for bullying. All right, you maggot. Bend over, I'm gonna get it to you.
And by the way, Rusty, this one is for you. 35 seconds long. Let's just take a trip down memory lane, shall we?
No, not too much of. First of all, I like her very much. I think she's a really nice woman. I thought it was a little unusual to have politics mixed with the movies, and it's been done before, I guess, a little bit. But it was a little bit unusual to see that.
Yeah.
But I do like her. I think she's terrific.
We want to know a little bit more about you guys. So we play this game here. It's called Fave 5. I'll ask the question. Ivanka, you answer first, and then Dad, you answer also. Okay, Ivanka, what's the favorite thing you have in common with your father?
Either real estate or golf.
Donald, with your daughter?
Well, I was going to say sex, but I can't relate that.
Who the fuck says that, man? Seriously. Who says
I think I threw up in my mouth.
Rusty Rivers, who says that other than the guy you voted to be fucking president of the United States? Seriously, that's what you voted for, dude. A man who makes a comment like that on national TV about his fucking daughter.
And then he was remember that iconic scene where he's going down that escalator, the golden escalator?
Mm-hmm.
There was a child going up on the other side, and I think she was about 10. And when asked about her age and told about her age, he said, in 9 years, I'll be dating you. Who looks at a 10-year-old and thinks, yeah, I'm going to hit that in 9 years?
Yeah, he did. And you know what? Oh, God, let me see if I can find that thing. There's a guy called Adam Cray on TikTok. He let me find it. But yeah, he interviewed people who mentioned that.
What do you want? Yeah. No more coming in. I know you've had your time. It's bedtime, so yeah.
Let me find him.
Oh, get on my knees.
And let's say he didn't do any of those things.
Oh,
but
shit,
we
sorry.
still know that he cheated on all 3 of his wives. One, and I'm nothing against sex workers, but one time with a sex worker while his wife was pregnant. Then he didn't pay her, and she had to sue him for the money. So he then ran on family values. He's a hypocrite.
And the guy has a history of stiffing workers all the time.
Well, he
And
only
people
paid
think he's
one.
gonna-
He only paid one, and it was Dusty because he had to, because she took him to court.
Yeah.
You know those little kids that were dancing at one of his rallies, in the Stars and Stripe costumes? Didn't pay them.
Of course
Little
not.
kids.
Doesn't pay anyone. Doesn't pay workers. Like there's been so many stories of people committing suicide or losing their business because they had a big job they went and did for Trump, and then he never paid them.
Yeah.
And that destroyed them.
That gentleman that was doing, I think it was refurbishing the casino. It was a small business.
Yeah,
I think he went out of business, and he was elderly, so he had no retirement fund then. The buses where he stranded his people 5 miles out in the desert, and they're mostly elderly and disabled people, had to walk 5 miles back to their cars because the buses found out they weren't getting paid. And then he turns on and tries to deflect and not take responsibility as the man should, like he always spouts off, right?
Yeah.
And says, no, it was the mayor of the town or something. Like,
No, the fan said
thinks-
that.
he
The fan
thinks
said
you're
that.
an idiot that will believe his lies. He doesn't take responsibility for his own actions, and he proves that he doesn't care about you, and you still gave him your vote.
No, what it was, Chris, is that the cult following wanted to blame somebody, but they would not dare blame Trump. So they
Right.
blamed the local mayor because they're fucking idiots, because they're Trump supporters. And but this is the thing with Donald Trump. I think he likes doing shit like this. I think he likes fucking over his own, and and I think he likes the way he fucked over his own voters on so many occasions. Like he scammed them, sending out messages, telling people to donate. He's got these special scamming donate messages where if you don't unclick a box or stuff, the money will constantly be coming out, and people have lost thousands, because of
I didn't know
that shit.
Yes.
Yeah, they lost thousands.
Yeah.
You know, like there's no bigger mark. There's no bigger mark than a Trump supporter. I'm really trying to find that clip. If you guys keep going on.
When you're looking for that, I just want to share, and I'm not 100% if this is true, but if it's not, it even kind of applies here. Apparently, like if you own a chicken, you can pull out a feather from a chicken. That is painful, right? And every day you can keep pulling another feather, 2 feathers, whatever, out of your chicken and keep feeding it, right? And every day, keep pulling another and causing pain till that chicken has no feathers left. But as long as you keep feeding it, it keeps coming back, regardless of the fact that you've abused it. And when I think of Trump voters, I think of that chicken with no feathers.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping, but it's not going to happen, that when Trump doesn't improve to be fair, he lost the last time again because of economics, because of everything that happened on the COVID and all of that. People forget this, that they didn't vote him out just because he was incompetent and useless. They voted him out because they were getting significantly poorer. Millions lost their jobs. He bundled COVID, and just people just voted him out, and obviously there was a higher Democratic turnout, unlike this time round. But if they get to the point where they can actually have elections in 2024, like they don't completely dismantle the democratic system, it's not really a democratic system. I mean, you have an electoral college, which is fucking stupid beyond repair. Okay, and which again gives too much power and say to dumb hicks. But I digress. Okay, if they get to that point, let's see if they're going to be cognitively functioning enough to understand that Trump fucked it up, or they're just going to blame immigrants and trans people.
They'll blame a group of people, because when I look at the States, I see Germany 1930s. So when they fail, and tariffs cause inflation to rise, mass immigration, they'll lose agricultural and construction workers. So prices will also skyrocket because of that. They'll need to find something else, and they can't blame the Democrats because they have the House, Senate, and Supreme Court. So they're going to find an ethnicity or a religion or some group of people and say it was them.
Yeah. Well, my cat's going toilet in the bath. I could hear her scratching. No, that's all right. She's very clever. Right, she's smart. She knows not, because we don't have a litter tray, and she won't go outside at night because of the foxes. So she just goes in the bath, and that's fine. Like, it's just easier to clean. So Rusty, I'm sorry, mate. You can't. This is the last time all Americans get to vote now, so you can't change your vote. This is it. You're gonna go down in history. 2024 was the last time Americans got to vote on anything, and you voted for Trump, and you got to live with it, pal. You voted in a fascist, and because you like being bullied, I'll give you a wet willy. There you go, wet willy right in your ear. Take it, you son of a gun.
Rusty, if you are sincere and you do get to vote in 4 years, and that's shaky, just go into it. You don't even have to rely on us. You don't even have to rely on what your news is saying. Take a look at the bills that have been passed, who voted for those bills, because then you get the truth, right? Like, and even what bills don't pass, what were in those bills? What were they trying to do to you by introducing those bills? What laws were they trying to pass? Or rights were they trying to take away from you?
Yeah, exactly. And hey, you know what? I love wet willies. Hey, all right. See, you get everything out of this podcast. You get hardcore political commentary, and you get bullied. We basically get to satisfy your kinks. And so nobody can walk away from The World's Gone Insane and say, I'm unsatisfied. Just so people know. That's why people keep coming back, because they love it. You're correct. Republicans have no excuses. Yeah, they'll have no excuses going forward. So when things don't improve, at least you see it, Rusty. That's why we like you. You get it. You know what I mean? Just because you voted Trump doesn't mean you don't get it. There'll be no excuses when they bollocks everything up. If they make everything right and improve the lives of Americans, then that's fine. And we'll be here. We'll be talking about it. You know what I mean?
We'll be shocked, but we'll talk about it.
Yeah, we're not rigid.
Yeah,
we're not rigid at all. We don't. It's not about. Look. I think I can speak for all of us here. We want just what's best for people, working class people. We want their lives to improve. Okay, I work for a charity where we see it firsthand how people are suffering because of the cost of living crisis here in the UK. All right, it's horrible. We see them do it. I'm in the same boat as well. Like, my car insurance has gone up astronomically for absolutely no reason. I was paying £230 a year, which is absolutely nothing for car insurance. All right. Last year, it went up to £440 for no reason. This year, it was £600. That plus bills completely financially wiped me out. I was living with just £20 left in my bank account, and it's still at this point, it was just the 6th or 7th of November. Okay, I have no money left for the rest of the month. My brother has given me money to make it to, and he's given me, he said it's not a lend, he just gave me money so I can survive. And do you know how demeaning it is to be at this age and having to turn to your brother to kind of help you? Because, you know, I've been very unlucky in life and all this kind of shit, but I've worked all my life. But all the jobs I can only get, because if you're a certain size, or if you're disabled and all this kind of stuff, they're always low paying jobs. And so I lived through this cost of living. I know what it's like. And I don't want anyone to be like this. I want somebody who can earn, let's just say £1,000, $1,000 a month, and and not have all of that eaten up by utility bills, rent, taxes, council taxes, and all this kind of stuff. It shouldn't be like that. And that's it. I just want what's best for everyone. And
because there's enough money.
Yeah.
There's enough money. If there weren't loopholes for multi-billionaires, if they just paid their fair share, there would be enough money in the pool of taxes so that as a society, we could succeed, not just live, but succeed. Everyone.
I've given up. I can't find that fucking thing. But this guy was speaking to people on his TikTok, and they were defending Trump's comment about dating a girl in 10 years, like talking to a 10-year-old and saying I'll date her in 10 years. And they were defending that by saying, well, in 10 years they'll be adults, and that's their defense. They're going along, but it's just.
But
I
how
know
do
that
you
one.
look?
I think
How do you
played
look
that
at a
here
10-year-old and go, "Oh, this is ooh"?
They're 10 years old, man. Like there's nothing there. Like, you know, I want curves and maturity, and I want somebody who fucking, you know what I mean, knows how to fuck. You know what I mean? Not fucking.
Or like the only purpose for little girls is so they can grow up and be meat for me. You know, also, like it's just creepy all around.
Yeah, it's just, you know, it's. And by the way, just so we're not just shitting on America, like Iraq just voted to lower the age of consent for girls to 9 years old. So, you know, the Abrahamic faith.
Even if you have nothing ethically against that, which of course I do, but even if you don't, if a 9-year-old gets pregnant, she will typically not be able to pass a baby through the birth canal. Sorry. That will lead to rupturing of the bladder or the intestines or both, leading to sepsis. It'll also mean the fetus cannot pass and will die, which will mean there will be rotting flesh inside that child who will die from sepsis. So it's just, even if you don't care about the humanity side, just, you know, medically, it's stupid.
Yeah. And we've seen that happen in Pakistan. There's been articles of it. where they've been impregnated at 10 years old and they've died. Both mother and child have died.
Yeah. There was this older doctor, she's probably deceased now because I learned about her when she was in her 80s, who was she had a clinic in Africa because some of the people in that area were allowing this. And what would happen if the girl was lucky enough to live through it, because if she does, make it 3 or 4 days, the rot can sometimes pass through because it, gets smaller or even congeals, which is just disgusting to think about. She now has a ruptured bowel, and she cannot control leakage of urine and feces. So they'll extradite her from the village, put her in some hut outside the village where she just sits on a mat and expels this stuff. So this doctor, and I think she was from Northern Europe, went down there and opened a clinic. So these young women could go there and she would do surgeries and fix them. And because she knew she would die soon, she was in her 80s, she was trying to teach local women that were nurses and apprentices to do the procedures. So after she died, it could carry on. So
legend. That's fucking.
I wish I remembered her name. She deserves a Nobel Peace Prize, man.
Yeah.
By the way, check this out. This is a good one.
So I've just discovered that somewhere in the deep, dark corners of conservative gaming, there's something called the Woke Content Detector's Curated Games. It is a live spreadsheet of over 1,500 video games rated on a scale of wokeness. No, I'm not joking. There is a plethora of bigoted and ignorant statements on this spreadsheet, but I thought I'd go through the whole spreadsheet and find some of the funniest reasons that these games are rated too woke to play.
Who's going to do 1,500?
Put it yellow for information you need beforehand and red for not recommended. Let's begin. Hades 2 is not recommended. One reason being contradictory to Greek myth, Hestia has vitiligo. No More Heroes 3 is yellow. There is rainbow graffiti present on one of the buildings. The Elder Scrolls V, Skyrim, is rated yellow. An NPC in Whiterun asks you if the sight of a strong Nord woman offends you. Counter-Strike 2 is not recommended. Vipa is more muscular than most male operators. Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus, is not recommended for many reasons. One being that the main character is saved by his strong, pregnant girlfriend, who manages to fight off a wave of schmazzies. Pregnant people can't save other people. Got it. Okay, this one got me. Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales is not recommended. The new POC main character overshadows Peter Parker. It's called Miles Morales. His name is Miles Morales. It's called Spider-Man Miles Morales. Ultianus, A Tale of Petty Revenge, is not recommended. The game ends with the female player kicking the male villain in the balls. Chat, is kicking someone in the balls woke? Humanity Must Perish is not recommended. Contains overtly pro-climate and overtly anti-human messaging. I'm pretty sure we could have guessed that. Room of Depression is not recommended. The player character is a woman with depression. Features a story about living with depression. Chat, is it woke to have Duck Detective, The Secret Salami is rated yellow. Contains subtle anti-family messaging. Multiple characters are divorced, including the player character. This one's one of my favorites. Portal 2 is rated yellow. All male characters are portrayed negatively and less competent than female characters. Fellas, is it woke? That's all I have the mental fortitude to get through today. And in all seriousness, don't listen to the people who made this list. Go play these games, because positive representation of marginalized communities will always be important. So is kicking someone in the balls. So I've just discovered that somewhere in the deep, dark corners of conservative game.
Not bad, huh?
I've heard about this list.
But they're all about freedom until it's something they don't want you to do, and then you better not do it. So,
but the point is,
you can't play that video game because I don't like it.
But the point is, again, you keep talking about the left being snowflakes. You have a comprehensive list, 1,500 games that the whole internet has put together. Not one company, because there is one company that does the opposite, where games aren't woke enough. Okay, we know about them because that's what started this whole fucking list in the first place. But this is a collective of people with 1,500 games for the absolute stupidest reasons, like a guy getting kicked in the balls, and we're the snowflakes. Come on.
So
that reminds me of Madonna came out with a video, and I really liked it. And it was her and an older woman in a vehicle, and throughout it they were driving places and committing violence. But MTV at the time, that used to exist for you younger people, we had to watch her music videos on TV, banned it because it was violence against men. Yet every single other video, which we were all okay with watching, had violence against women, or we were just bitches and hoes that you wanted to screw. I mean, there wasn't a problem until some woke triggered snowflake said, we don't want violence against men on TV too.
Yep. Just ridiculous.
No,
Be right
there's a
back,
couple of
Steve,
there's a couple of things that will, in my opinion, make Trump or the Republicans lose the presidency by a lot. JD Vance, if you don't know, wants to ban pornography in the land of the free. I may add, the land of the free, he wants to ban pornography. So if you want to jerk off in your own time and watch porn, he wants to stop that from happening, and he wants to call America the freest country on earth.
Yep.
Fair enough. I mean, but then, and also Donald Trump. Obviously, he doesn't want to ban porn. I mean, the guy fucking shags porn stars, so he doesn't want to ban porn anytime soon. But because he's obviously the type of guy not to play video games, he wants to ban video games.
Yeah.
Check it out.
We must stop the glorification of violence in our society. This includes the gruesome and grisly video games that are now commonplace. It is too easy today for troubled youth to surround themselves with a culture that celebrates violence. We must stop or substantially reduce this, and it has to begin immediately. We must stop the glorification of violence in our society. This includes the group.
So
this is hilarious. I've been trying to tell all these Chads and Brads out there that are all like, your body, my choice. It's like, you do know that Trump, part of the reason he got into power is because the Heritage Foundation helped him. JD Vance wrote the intro to Project 2025, which goes into great deal over this. And if you look at the last 2 decades, the Heritage Foundation has been quite openly saying when they get a chance, and they have tried many, many ways to do this, to get rid of porn and to get rid of video games. And now that Trump owes them, they're going to try and do it and have a really good chance at doing it. And
I hope
here's
they do it.
more proof. Now they've got the I almost said prime minister, president coming out and doing it. Someone who's pro porn is now going to do it anyway. Like, there's no coincidence here. This is the plan.
And I hope they do it because
me too.
So many gamer bros are big fans of Donald Trump. Yeah. And if you get rid of that, they'll probably blame the left for it anyway for some bizarre reason because they're so stupid. They'll probably fall for that bollocks. Yeah, anything they do, and which is not popular, we'll do it, and then you can blame the left for it for making us do it or some shit like that. But regardless, they'll ban porn, they'll ban video games, and these things are very popular with men. Right wing, left wing, doesn't fucking matter. They're very popular with guys, and
women.
I hope, and women too. Yeah, of course. Video games, lots of women love playing video games and they like their porn totally, whether they be right or left leaning. And if they do ban that shit, it will be glorious because you voted for it, you stupid right wing hit cunts.
Yep.
Yeah, and also Trump's tariffs are going to cost everything to go up by 40%, gaming-wise. Consoles, games, everything is going to go up by 40%. And this is not very good timing when the Nintendo is coming out next year. New Nintendo console is coming out next year. And so your little incel gamers can suck on that as well because your gaming is about to get expensive. Everything you love is either going to get banned or get very, very expensive.
So I got a couple more. I got a couple more TikToks, and then we should call it a day in 10 minutes. So let me just let's churn them out. This is this one regarding Tulsi Gabbard or Gabbard, however you want to fucking call it. Typical conservative, by the way. Like, I hear all these stories about certain people in America who are right wing and how they got like all these sort of split personalities and they just do weird, stupid shit. Tulsi Gabbard is part of that list. Check it out.
She was a Democrat at one point.
Yeah, but
Can't hear that.
look, you got people like Kirsten Sinema and Joe Manchin. They're Republicans in Democratic clothing. I mean, they're not remotely Democrat, or if they are to a degree.
Tulsi, don't forget when Tulsi ran in the primaries, she was very fucking. She ran like centre left.
Yeah, but
far right?
Yeah, but look. Are we surprised when you see people like Anna Kasparian and Jimmy Dawes and all these fuckers? Like they go to that side because that's with right wingers are stupid fucking cunts who are easily influenced by bullshit. You know, they're not skeptical whatsoever. I mentioned my cousin did not like Elon Musk. Didn't like him at all. Yeah, because Trump first started didn't like Elon Musk. Trump likes Elon Musk. Now he fucking loves Elon Musk. Just like that. You know what I mean? Because... So, anyway, tell me if you can... I've done what I can with the volume.
Not get confirmed as our next Director of National Intelligence. This is me in 2016 before the age of fear. As you can see from this tweet, I have worked with Tulsi Gabbard. She knows who I am. I know her. And I'm going to tell you the inside scoop of why she should not be in charge of anything.
You can read it, though.
Our national intelligence.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave aside the fact that she is a member of a cult and that she sides with autocrats, dictators, and tyrants like Vladimir Putin and Bashar al-Assad. All of that's been publicly reported, so let's leave that aside. But first, some background and context. My name is Christopher Goldsmith. I am a professional veterans advocate. This is something that I've been doing for over a decade and a half. My job sometimes is to pass legislation to help veterans. The only way that you can do that is on a bipartisan basis. I work well with Republicans and Democrats. Here's MAGA Lee Zeldin, a fellow Long Islander that I've watched go completely off the rails down to the right. And here is the vice presidential nominee for the Democrats this year, Tim Walz. Very good guy. Like this guy a lot. And there's me, before the age of beer. The reason I'm at this press conference is because these all post 9/11 generation veterans, Ruben Gallego, Tulsi Gabbard, Tim Walz, and Lee Zeldin, are here proposing bipartisan legislation called the Fairness for Veterans Act. And I learned a lot about Tulsi as we were working on this bill. Unlike the rest of these people, Tulsi's office was pure chaos. So again, leaving aside, she's a national security threat because she sides with our enemies instead of our allies and even the United States itself. She is a terrible boss. There are 435 members of Congress, and there are 100 senators. Out of 535 offices on and around Capitol Hill, this person, Tulsi Gabbard, had the highest rate of turnover among staff, including the staffer who took this photo of us. Now, after Tulsi Gabbard helped me out professionally and personally, why would I be talking smack about her? Well, because a lot of the people who worked for her were also veterans, and she treated them like garbage. There are two reasons why she had such a high rate of turnover. The first is because she had no moral or ethical basis on which her staff could assume that she would make decisions. Like Donald Trump, the fascist that she's become such a sycophant for, she had no true policy beliefs. So the first of these
That
two
don't surprise
reasons
me.
that her staff found her to be a terrible leader is because she would tell them that she was going to vote one way on a bill, and she would tell them to issue a statement. So her policy staff and her comm staff would sit down, they would tweet stuff out like this, they would write press releases, and they would send them out into the world. And then they would look up at the television at C-SPAN in their office, and they would see their boss doing the opposite thing of what she just said that she was going to do. and that her beliefs were, in fact, the opposite of what she just told them 5 minutes prior. So the second reason that her staff found her to be a terrible boss is because Tulsi Gabbard was constantly humiliating them. But Tulsi Gabbard, as a member of Congress, was completely unpredictable. Her staff would work for her, would sit down, she would tell them what she believed in, and then minutes later, she would tell the public the opposite thing, causing absolute chaos for her staff and her constituents. Tulsi Gabbard is a toxic leader. Now, again, I owe Tulsi Gabbard a lot. She has helped me out personally and professionally. But I feel that it is my patriotic duty to let people know who Tulsi Gabbard is. I have no doubt that over the coming months, you're going to hear a lot of stories about how she's a security threat for the reasons that I've just described. But people ought to know how she can demoralize a staff and cause people to quit out of frustration. When she is leading all of our intelligence agencies, that would be completely disastrous. Like when people serve in the military, as we both did, when people serve in intelligence agencies, they're often making a lot of sacrifices, and they're often putting their own lives at risk. There are assets all around the world in every country who are loyal to the United States and would give their lives if they had to. So having someone who sides with our enemies instead of us and our allies leading these intelligence agencies is disastrous in and of itself. But pile on to that the absolute toxic leadership that she exudes in even a small congressional office. It would make it impossible for these people to do their jobs. And that is why, despite having worked with Tulsi Gabbard and her having helped me personally and professionally, I want to make sure that she never comes close to getting confirmed to be our Director of National Intelligence.
Well,
So
she
look,
did.
You don't have to to these people.
Okay, I think we'll leave that one there.
Yeah, we can leave it there. It was dragging on.
One more clip. Two more clips actually, just
Before you do that clip, I would laugh too. Unfortunately, I know that assets that will give their lives for the United States that are working hard to help with the security are now going to go missing. And they're not going to go missing quietly when they get caught. They will go through a lot of pain before they die because of her incompetence and her not being loyal.
And plus, she's a huge fucking she's like
huge neocon.
She's a fucking
She's a great. Where's Cheeto? He's not here today. Okay, two more clips and we're done. We're gonna end with some fun. Okay, let's have a little bit of a laugh. Check this one out.
We need a Secretary of Defense. Okay, what job is that? Just the guy who's in charge of the most powerful military in the history of the world. Oh, right. Put in that Fox News guy. No, this guy runs the military, like the Army. Sounds like a job for me, Pete Hegseth, or as I'm now known, that Fox News guy. Okay, what are your qualifications? I was a host on Fox News. I don't think women should be in combat, and I have a lot of weird extremist tattoos. Okay, will cause World War III, an attorney general. Matt Gaetz. This is the chief law enforcement officer of the United States and head of the Department of Justice. Well, I think I'm perfect for the job. What law experience do you have? Does being investigated for sex trafficking and pedophilia count? I guess it's enough. Also, if the DOJ is within 100 yards of a school, I'm gonna have to work from home. Health and Human Services. That's on me. Right. Vaccines give kids autism and make frogs gay. Don't you have a worm in your brain? It died, but I'm gonna make food healthier. Well, that's great. What's the plan for that? I don't have a plan, but red food coloring's out. Awesome. Anyone else grossly unqualified to run the country? The only qualification they need is to bow down to Trump. I'm gonna be sick. And Elon Musk, Department of Government Efficiency. What the hell is that? It's a made-up position. And what do? Well, you know the way I fucked up Twitter? Yeah. I'm going to do that to America. We need a Secretary of Defense. Okay.
Yeah, you voted for it, you fucking dickheads. And finally, my man, I think his name is Robbie Roadsteamer. Robbie Roadsteamer is so good. Like this guy because of his look, his personality, people immediately think, yeah, he's MAGA, but he's not. He's not MAGA at all. And check this out. This is brilliant.
He trolls them.
Yeah.
Marjorie, I love you. Let's sing a song to her. She's got style. She's got great. She's got strong horse legs. She's got strong horse legs. Strong horse legs. Marjorie, I love you. Let's sing a song.
Yeah, I just thought that was brilliant. World class. You know, if you voted for Trump, if you voted for Trump, you are without a doubt a dickhead. There's no ifs, buts, or maybes. You voted against your best interest. You are a dickhead.
I think Rusty wasn't lying when he said he liked getting bullied, or he wouldn't be leaving messages like that.
Yeah,
so I'm not gonna, you know.
Well, we're not going to kink shame you, mate. You're into what you're into.
Oh, I'm not gonna shame you, but I'm not gonna give you what you want.
And on top of that, if you're going to make an argument of rape by saying it's sexual assault and somehow that's okay, yeah, dickhead. it's dickhead. Yeah, we'll see you next time, dude. Hopefully you join us for some other stuff. Start watching some nerd shit and join us for our nerd stuff. You know, these things like are more fun and it's more relaxing. It's all good to talk politics, which we do now and again. But, you know, it's also good to enjoy the fun things in life, like comic books and TV shows and video games, which you might get banned soon in your country.
And on that note, obviously, I do have on my channel, which is Ginger Greek, I just did a video, a collab with Cheeto, who's not here because he's not politics on this thing. However, we do talk a certain type of politics in this video, and the video is called "In the Defense of Joker," the movie, not the actual person. And we go into the first one, yeah, not the second.
Yeah.
And we talk about the film and how the message within the film has been completely lost on both sides of the political spectrum. And that's all I'll say about that. That will be coming out on Monday. So keep an eye out for that. Again, that's the channel on Ginger Greek channel. And also,
look forward to that.
Yeah, me and Cheeto moving forward will be, again, on my channel, because we don't want too much politics on NerdTube. Be doing some videos on mental health and how the system just sucks for it on both sides of the Atlantic. So keep an eye out for that. And as always, keep an eye out for all the stuff that comes out here on NerdTube. There's loads of stuff. Christine?
And don't forget to subscribe to my TikTok. I did start it because I got into basketball, and I will continue that when it starts up again. But I have done a little bit of politics. I'm going to do some on music.
What's your handle on there?
It's Christine.
I'm just looking for it now.
I think it's Christine P. I don't know if that's my last name.
I got it here. Let me just post it in the comments. 1 second.
Thank you. I did do one lip sync. I thought it went well. Not perfect, but it was fun. And I'm going to try and do a little bit of everything. So join me. Even if you hate me, leave a comment. Let's have a civil discussion. I love my points of views to be challenged. If I didn't believe in them, I wouldn't let you challenge them. And if you can convince me I'm wrong, I do change my mind.
Yo, there you go. And that's for me on my channel. And Christine, make sure you follow Christine's TikTok. And on that note, thank you to my lovely co-hosts. Thank you to everyone in the chat that joined in. We always love to hear people's opinions. We don't have to agree on everything, but a good time was had by all. And Rusty got his kink served in this as well. So we deliver on all fronts. And on that note, let chaos reign supreme. Bye-bye.